Hello, everybody. We are here after a long season for the BTL Season 15 Finals. We have Spectre Gaming versus Elysium Terra, the top two contenders, fighting it out to see who can be crowned the champions. I am joined by the heavy hitters in the top side, Tygoo and Vaporto from Knights of Ishtar. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing friggin' fantastic, Frostbyte.
All right. How
I
you?
am as well.
All right. Well, I've heard that you guys have been doing some research on these teams. So, what did you guys pull up on them, and what are you guys expecting out of these two?
Okay, I have this spreadsheet I pulled up, did my own research here. So, these teams actually met up before, slightly different rosters, but ET were actually the ones to 2-0 sweep Spectre Gaming. I think it was like week 4 or something like that. So, I don't know. Hopefully, Spectre Gaming has something else up their sleeves that they've been working and practicing out.
All right. All right. And Connor or Vaporto, do you have the same ideas as Tygoon?
I mean, yeah, I'm just excited to see the solo lanes, to be honest. They seem to pull out some pretty wacky picks sometimes. Um, and yeah, I think that'll just be really fun to watch.
Okay, okay. All right. Well, starting us off strong with the bans, SG has opted for the Hecarim, Ezreal, and Zac, whereas Elysium Terra for the Tristana, Jace, and Alawi. So a lot of jungle focus and solo lane focus per side. So we're going to have to see exactly what Free Little Feet can pull out, what SG solo laners can pull out, because that's a lot of key opponent or key picks that are taken away from both teams.
Yeah, I like the Varus. I like the blind pick Varus just because it's just a strong pick. I mean, you can even flex it mid or top right now, so it doesn't even necessarily have to go in the bot lane. Ooh, Cannoneer.
It would be a pretty good pick into Kennen as well, so he could follow the Kennen or just keep it as the safe high damage ADC.
Yeah, and Tygoon,
And Viego.
I do know, Tygoon, that you are a connoisseur of the tank Varus top. How do you feel about the build, and do you expect SG to pull it out?
So when I look at it on op.gg or u.gg, it technically has like a 47% win rate. I'm guessing part of that is due to top laners not really being accustomed to the ADC marksman playstyle, but I have felt, or I feel like it's been pretty good. I mean, go Bork, Radiant Virtue, or Heartsteel, depends on who you ask, but you still have a ton of base damage just with the Blight stacks of Varus, so it's kind of just hard. It just makes it way harder to kill you, and if you go Radiant Virtue, your team as well.
Okay, okay. Next question's coming over to the Vaporto. I know you are the jungle main of this cast. How do you feel about the Jarvan and Diego matchup? Who has the edge? Who do you think is going to get more early pressure, and who do you think is going to be better sustained for those mid to late game fights?
Mid to late game is hard to say. It's mostly dependent on their team comp. Right now, Spectre has a probably a better front to back, it looks like. So I'd say Jarvan is probably pretty safe in these late game team fights, but Viego can definitely do some damage on that first item Kraken or Triforce, whatever he so chooses into Jarvan. He'll be stronger for a little bit there at level 6.
Okay,
And
okay.
he might just be able to steamroll this game.
All right. Well, we do have Ornn and Alistar locked in for the final picks before ban phase 2. So already SG has their top laner locked in. So all the bans we're going to be seeing are going to probably go down to that support and mid lane locations. And that also locks in the Varus more than likely in the bottom lane. We don't really see Varus mid too much anymore. So I'm pretty confident to say that is going in the bot lane. And they locked in Alistar to attempt to counter it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Alistar could have been pretty good on Spectre Gaming just for the disengage of the Kennen and Viego for the Varus, but nonetheless, Varus does have two beefy boys in front of him to kind of just block damage and tank damage from Elysium Terra while he gets all that on hit damage out, considering I don't think we're going to see the Radiant Virtue from him this game. He's
Yeah,
not solo
I
lane.
hope to not see it in the bot lane. You definitely need that DPS source higher out of your carry rolls. But the Varus versus Alistar, Alistar has quite a few mechanics to kind of get out of Varus ultimates and stick on top of Varus. So things can get a little rough down there just because of the immobility. So hopefully we see a disengaged support coming out of SG. Maybe like a Rel to push back the enemy AD carry, keep the Kennen away, or who's the other champion I'm thinking? Or like a Braum, someone who's like really good at people who dive into you. But that is going to be a Vayne AD carry locked in, a Vayne Alistar. So, how do you guys feel about the Vayne?
It's pretty good here into Orange Jarvan. Of course, if Jarvan tries to R Vayne, Vayne can just instantly press E as he lands and instantly condemn him. And Ornn, I don't know if does it knock back his E if you condemn?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
I believe it does.
It's
yeah.
only his W.
So it's a pretty good pick if he can play it right, and it's going to do a lot of % HP damage to both those champions.
Okay.
It's just kind of low range, so he has to be careful of Varus ult and Orianna ult to play this game.
Yeah, and luckily, however, for SG, they got the Jarvan Orianna combo. So, very deadly combo, especially in pro play. We've seen it pulled off a few times in BTL. Super powerful, great engage, great setup for the Orianna. And if Orianna can get a lead in that mid lane with the help of Jarvan, which typically is pretty easy, I would say, for Jarvan, correct?
Yeah, it should be.
Then Orianna can definitely become a huge problem, especially with a lot of low range that ET has right now. But Milio going to be the final pick for SG and the support pick. Kind of one of those champions that has to have his timings down really well to keep Alistar and Kennen away.
Yeah, but a lot of utility there with his ult into the Kennen R and his Q into the Alistar engage. If he can play that right, that could be a really, really strong champion here.
Yeah,
I don't know. My focus is going back towards the Vayne. When you pick Vayne, you're automatically putting that target on your back, and I don't think you really want that target on your back when you're against an Orianna or Jarvan. Like that just doesn't sound great. But the one thing that they do have is the kind of the electric factor of LeBlanc Viego Kennen that can kind of get these flex or these
I think it's some nice flanks.
Yeah, I was about to mention Zui's LeBlanc, something that we've seen a few times. He's done the static shift build a lot, and he's proven that it is a very deadly pick in his hand, especially playing against something like an Orianna. Low range, doesn't have that much pressure in the early laning phases until they get access to that ultimate, something that LeBlanc can look to abuse.
Another thing to note, Elysium Terra's team is significantly harder to play than Spectre, just team fight wise. We'll have to see them kind of overcome that front to back style that Spectre can do. Hopefully they can get in the back line if they get some nice flanks with the Blanc Kennen, like Tygoo was saying. But we'll have to find out.
Yeah. So, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we actually have a unique perspective in the call right now. Bopperto, you actually played on Spectre Gaming to get them into this finals game because Learning was not able to make it. So how do you see? Does this comp kind of fit how that team wants to play generally, or is this something kind of out of the ordinary for them?
I wouldn't say they necessarily like to draft this way like all the time, but I think they have really good success when they do draft this way. So I'm really excited to see what they can do with Tavian, Vimstat back in the jungle role and Learning on his in the mid.
Okay. Now, before we go any further, I forgot to ask, what are you guys' predictions for this series? Not this game specifically, but how do you think this series is going to roll out? Who do you think is going to win, and what do you think the final score is going to be?
Okay, I have a wait. Let me go back to this Excel spreadsheet real quick. Oh, okay. So Fire played one game and went 7-10. So I'm looking at the Vayne LeBlanc kind of being the X factors here for Elysium Terra. I'm going to give it to Spectre Gaming just because I believe in Learning, and I've seen him kind of be pretty consistent for Spectre Gaming.
So that's for this game or for the series?
I'm gonna give it for the game.
What are your predictions? That you got to think of predictions for the series.
I'm gonna give it to Elysium Terra, just because whenever I watch them, they're kind of just solid throughout and consistent, which in a 5-game series is kind of what you want, whereas Spectre Gaming is a little bit more chaotic.
Okay, and 3-2, 3-1, 3-0.
I'll give it to ET 3-1.
Okay, Vaprito.
You know, I was gonna say something similar, but I think I'm actually gonna go 3-2 Spectre if they continue to draft this way.
Okay, and predictions for this game?
I think Spectre will pull this one out, and Elysium will have to change up their draft a little bit for next game. That's
Okay.
my prediction.
All right, and I have predicted already 3-2 in favor of Elysium Terra. So we're going to have to see how that rolls out. But any final remarks from either of you before we send it off to a break?
Good team comp.
I'm kind of excited to see what happens between the Bane LeBlanc dynamic against the Jarvan engage with Oriana. That's all I'm
Okay.
kind of looking at here.
All right, anything for you, Vaprito?
Nope, I think he covered it. The ultimates are the X factor this game and their positioning, so we'll have to see how they play it out.
All right, well, time and time again, EBTL has always come down to execution, not necessarily what the teams draft. So we're going to have to see which team is ready to execute and who is on point today. But for now, we're going to send it off to a break for approximately 3 minutes while we load into the Rift for game number 1 between Spectre Gaming and Elysium Terra.
We're back from the dead. Are you ready? Let's go. Back from the dead. We're back from the dead. Hell yeah. We're back from the dead. Back from the dead.
Yo, what should I get from DoorDash?
Back from the dead.
right, everybody, we are loaded onto the Rift for game number 1 between Spectre Gaming and Elysium Terra. Tygoon and Vaporto, are you guys ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, 11, 12, 13.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Let's see who is going to come out on top in game number 1 and who's going to get the advantage in this best of 5 series.
All right, let me set up the scoreboard.
Well, I heard that.
Okay. No, you didn't. I didn't say anything. Oh, an
Ooh,
invade.
an invade. Brought the sweeper, so they clear the vision. Gets a word on the red. That'll tell him his early clear path.
Elysium
Viego
Terra.
can't really start raptors or wolves.
Woo. Level 1 shenanigans.
Yeah, already coming out strong. So both teams got some pretty early vision down with those level 1, like cheeky little invades, looks onto each other. So Vaporto, where do you think these junglers are going to be playing for? We already talked about the Jarvan more than likely focusing around mid to get that Orianna ahead, but what about the Viego?
If I was Viego here, I would want to get ahead early, maybe after a first clear, get a back into his Noon Quiver, and then he can play on the map with the Blanc. Because Orianna will be way more useless on the Blanc until level 6. And then... yeah, Jarvan just has to kind of play back and play off the enemy's mistakes this game a little bit. He can maybe gank Kennen if he ever uses E. It should be pretty easy.
Yeah, lack of mobility. Everyone has flash this game at least, so there will be no getting caught flashless like a lot of top laners that we see who run Ghost, Teleport, and things like that.
Imagine.
Yeah, imagine.
So me being the top lane guy, Ornn and Kennen kind of want to do the same thing. They want to get their items and make a big impact later in the game in the team fights. I don't know how Ornn is up 12 or up 7 CS right now, but he's just pushing in the wave right now, I guess. But Kennen has first strike, so he's going to be trying to take advantage of the ranged advantage that he has over the Ornn.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot easier to proc that, but I feel like he loses some of his like sustained damage that he would normally have, and against Ornn, if you're not able to actually complete a kill onto him, he's just going to build items, get back up to full HP.
I guess it depends what they're playing for. He might not even be playing for Ornn. He might just be playing for the team fight and letting Vayne Viego kill the front line.
Fair enough.
In which case, first strike might actually be better.
Fair enough. Well, both junglers are on the top side already. Viego massively ahead on the clear time at this current moment. Already at 24 CS, I think, once he clears that. Whereas Bimstat only on his 4th camp.
On his 4th camp, but he's looking to get a little aggressive here. Maybe on the scuttle, maybe getting some
Yeah, they spotted
early
the Viego.
fight here in the river.
Yeah, they spotted the Viego on the ward, so...
Ornn has the...
Louis has some prior here.
Blanc.
Yeah, LeBlanc has prior, though. They're going to go in onto Bimstat with the stun. Very little feet is getting on down a lot of damage. Swagasm's trying to get him out, but Bimstat is a little bit too deep. He has to flash away from Zooey, but Zooey's going to get that chain off, and that's going to be first blood for the Viego.
Oh, first
and that's
blood.
going to be a flash forward by Swagasm trying to get the kill, but it's not going to get picked up. So that's 2-0 in favor of Elysium Terra, and Learning has to get on the run.
And the resets. He shouldn't have taken the Ornn reset, but the Jarvan reset was massive there for that last kill.
That's what happens when you play for jungle.
Yeah, he got his
instantly
full clear
rotated.
off. The LeBlanc moved. They won the fight early. Yep.
Yeah, a little bit of a short trade there, but huge damage on the fire.
Yeah, he's gonna have to recall here with an Alistar as his support. Has no sustain really.
Yeah, and that's a
The thing
pretty...
about those,
Oh, go ahead.
the thing about those 2 kills is that Viego and LeBlanc are like their early game, like easily. So, and their late game is pretty insured by having that Vayne down there in the bot lane just farming up. So that's actually gonna help them transition from their early mid game to their late game, which is kind of what they're trying to do to win this game here.
All right. First dragon spawning in, or is now. First dragon is up right now. So let's see if Spectre Gaming's like priority in the bot lane that they've been able to secure themselves is going to be able to help Vimstat kind of secure this first objective of the game. Because right now we see very little feed, but oh, a hex flash over by Ali Oops onto Learning, and now Learning is a little bit in danger. He does not have the capability to get away. He's going to get dropped down to 1 and a flash out. That's going to be Zooey going to be pressuring him. That's going to be huge wave lost there. And Zooey's still looking, and he does pick up the kill with the auto. That is the shard's damage.
The shard damage and double longsword.
I thought they were trying to take this build out of the game, dude. Like,
They nerfed it until it doesn't do anything, and it still does stuff.
Yeah, now Learning TPing in, and he might just die right again. Kind of an Ascension TP. He is getting dove under the tower. He's going to pick up 1 kill for himself. Now Vimstat's here. Vimstat goes forward. Vimstat isn't going to be able to pick up a kill, but that is huge that Learning picked up that kill because he just lost so much for that.
Okay,
LeBlanc though 2-0.
The bright side for Spectre is that the damage in their wombo combo got the kill. So like there's a little bit of a bright side.
Yeah, but
yeah, hopefully this Orianna can come back and get back into the game here.
Yeah.
Jarvan, their whole team really just needs to make sure that they can't abuse Orianna and Jarvan.
Yeah,
for the next 15 minutes, I would say.
I told you guys, man, Zooey's LeBlanc, something to behold.
Yep, the solo lane picks. I mean, Orianna Ornn is pretty normal, but the LeBlanc Kennen spices things up.
Yeah, all right. Ooh, Swag has him dropping the follow the Forge God onto OP Ivy. He's going to get the knock-up, but the Flash is going to keep him safe, so nothing is going to come out of that gank.
Good flash. They're giving up Dragon Prio here.
Okay, so getting that flash should help them, considering that Ornn and Jarvan are both going to get their flash up for Herald. So that should be what they're playing for. Maybe we can see a Dr. Dad roam.
Oh, this might be another.
Oh, yeah. OP Ivy dropping the ult there. Vimstat's going to get dropped super low, and Swagazm misses the knockup, so that's going to be 1 kill picked up, but OP Ivy should fall. So 1 for 1 on the top side.
It's a little unfortunate for Vimstat there. He wanted to get
sorry
back
to
on
cut
the
you
map.
off, but we have alley-oops looking for it. But what a great stop by Dr. Dad, but it's not going to be enough. And that's going to be Dr. Dad falling, and Paint Liquor left alone in this lane with his wave getting shoved in.
The Milio Q actually stopped the Alistar engage, but it didn't matter because Viega was there to follow everything up, and the Vayne Condemn just put him in place.
Yeah, alley-oops is absolutely doing work around the map right now. He's gotten his team play after play, and even though he got interrupted there, I want to say that he basically started it because that Q basically got Dr. Dad stuck in that area with him.
Only unfortunate thing is I think he got both kills in that situation. You obviously want the kills on Vayne, but sometimes stuff happens.
Yeah.
If you're Vayne
They are
and
ahead.
your team is winning by
Yeah.
8 minutes, I think you take those at least.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're chilling. You don't really care about the game until 2 to 3 items anyways, so if you're winning before then, you're a happy scout.
I'm curious to see what this what Paint Liquor decides to build this game. He's going the Bork first, which is pretty standard for like almost any Varus build, aside from maybe a crit.
They're still able to do pretty much anything.
Flash
here.
from fire there. Costed Paint Liquor is ultimate, but
Maybe a dive with the Alistar topside, or maybe an invade here actually with Jarvan.
yeah, they are starting
After
to
this
Herald up.
Herald. Good hover from alley-oops here to be on the map.
Yeah, I'm curious, what's your guys' research? Is alley-oops an Alistar main because of Ali in his name, or is that just coincidence?
You know, I made
No,
the whole
I don't know.
spread't and everything, but I
And
put
you
so
forgot
much
everything.
work into it, I didn't actually look at what was on it. I just was like typing it all out. So let me look real quick, and doopa-doopa-doo, he is an Alistar, or they are, sorry, I don't want to assume. They are an Alistar main, yeah. 220 games this season, their next
Looking for
best.
another
Oh,
one
here
this
comes the
year.
flash over onto Learning. Learning
Oh,
pops
the
the
insta flash
shockwave
support
though.
doesn't even matter.
Yeah, Learning gonna get
Oh.
CC chains, but no kill's gonna result. That was a perfectly timed Orianna ult there. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it interrupted the combo from Alistar.
Yeah, I think it stopped the W from pushing her further into lane there. saving her from having to use flash.
LeBlanc is
Also
getting
having it back
ahead,
right after.
but learning is he's a capable player. He's able to deal with it. He's pretty even in CS.
He absorbed a good amount of pressure there. I
Yeah,
mean,
now we have Dr.
an
Dad
entire
here.
turn from Alistar.
No, okay. No play's gonna break out quite yet.
Yeah, Oriana's not really able to chase the Blanc down, unfortunately.
Yeah, but now Vimstat is here in the mid lane, goes forward with the EQ, but it doesn't connect, and that's just gonna be Zooey W'ing away. He's gonna W back to his spot and get to his tower.
Oh, and a flash.
Oh God.
They
Oh
got LeBlanc's
God.
flash at least.
Yeah,
there.
got her
So it's
flash.
not
Now
for
she only
nothing.
has 5 more.
All they had to do was Jarvan ult, actually, so that's not bad.
Zooey,
Yeah,
That's
ooh,
a
but
net
Vimstat
positive.
gonna get caught out here by alley oops. He's got the EQ away, and he does manage to get away from alley oops before the
Nice.
stun.
The Zooey plus alley oops combo right now is kind of just taking over the map, along with Furry Little Feet, of course, also being there to apply the numbers advantage. But like the pressure that Elysium Terra are applying throughout the past 11 minutes,
Oh,
Has
Vimstat
Ooh.
getting greedy for that
insane.
camp.
Yeah.
And now we
He
have
didn't
Swagasm
know
with
he
the
was
TP
there.
in the
He
back.
instantly
Here comes the
queued.
call. The Forge God. It goes out, hits 2, but a TP to follow up. Can they pick up one on fire? It maybe.
EQ
Oh, they
goes
do get it.
wide.
For Painkiller gets it. That's going to be the Kinnan ult coming in, and that's going to get so many killed. A 2-for-2 trade, or no, 2-for-1 trade in favor of Spectre Gaming.
Okay.
TPs were just more valuable for Spectre, it seemed.
Oh. Okay. Bopperto, what do you think the state of jungle is right now? I'm
You know,
kinda sad
I
if
told you
I'm
he can
Jarvan.
invade the Jarvan early, so they really have to help Jarvan. I want to see Dr. Dad moving for him a lot more.
Yeah, but it's a
But
Milio.
it's hard once he gets a certain amount behind.
Yeah, on top of that, Milio's
Because this
super
Viego can
squishy,
also
but
just
now
one-shot.
Vimstat going in
he
into
might
Furry
die
Little
here.
Feet, and that's just going to be him dropping dead to OP Ivy. And now this should give full Dragon priority. A flash from Dr. Dad, but he gets interrupted by
Ooh.
alley oops, and alley oops is just getting a lot of damage down. That will be the second Dragon of the game secured by Elysium Terra, and a huge advantage and tempo lead for Elysium.
We're on ult there to save Milio, but fortunately they can't save the fight. And they are down 3k here at 12 minutes.
Yeah, Vimstat just not having his way in the jungle right now. He's basically getting bush camped every time he walks into his own jungle.
Yo, what
Yeah,
time
Vimstat
are you
alone
guys
is
at right
down
now?
2.2k.
12, 40, 41. You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
This Kraken Slayer is going to be putting in a lot of work here for Viego. I really like the pickup. So I'm glad he didn't go Triforce. He can actually take over the game here now if his team moves from here.
They have rotated fire to the top side, so Cannon's going to go match that 2v1 in the bot.
Elysium is doing
I
what
would
they
like
need to be
them to
doing.
invade here.
Yeah,
honest.
they're applying pressure. They have to. Spectre does have a lot of scaling on their side, so if they're able to get to level 18, if they're able to get those orange.
Oh, a flash forward by OP Ivy with the ultimate. He's going to
Oh.
get a double stun out, but he's not going to be able to connect the kill, and now he's in a little bit of danger. But Zooey going forward onto learning, but no kill's going to break out anywhere. But that was for some explosive quick trades.
Things
Oh,
are happening.
another
Things
fire.
are doing-
Top.
Oh, what a great E by Fire,
Ooh.
but Fire's going to get stuck in the Cataclysm. He's going to get dropped low, and that's going to be a kill picked up here for Vimstat. Something he really needed. He's falling behind, and he needs that gold.
It was a
Only-
good condemn, but I think unfortunately he needed to just dodge the EQ so he could condemn him in the pit. If you ever wanted a chance of winning there.
Yeah, now we have Trey
try.
Little Feet going forward, flashes, but misses the W on a Paint Licker, but Paint Licker's going to get chunked down to half. OP Ivy going forward, that's going to be a kill picked up by Furry Little Feet. Wow, Learning gets engaged on by Alley Oops. Once again, this man is a roaming menace. And that's going to
Fights
be a
around the
3
map.
for none across the map.
They know how to play Alistar and
Dude,
Viego, I'll tell you that.
dude,
Yeah, I
Alley
think it's
Oops
a
is
ban
all
alley-oops,
Maps, at least.
Alley Oops is
Ban
all
Alistar,
over the
bro.
place.
Yeah, he is just making plays happen everywhere.
Well, the problem is he does this on Nautilus too. It's a little easier on Alistar, but he does the same things with Nautilus. You've got to
Alley-oops is
keep
making it. He's making it so easy.
Average
They're
helicopter
making
viewer.
it so easy for their team to just capitalize and engage and just.
Yeah,
Uh,
we need.
And it's even harder when they have this slippery of a team comp.
Yeah, I want to
Spectre can't just
see.
get easy kills.
I want to see Spectre play more around the vision because like they need to know where Alley-oops is at all times because he's getting gank after gank after gank right into them. They're playing the vision game so well. They're
Well, they
clearing
might
out
have a
so
pick on
many
the oil.
wards.
Oh,
Yeah.
they missed the timing.
Yeah, they thought about it.
Didn't see him. They know this Herald's free though. They see Jarvan on bot side.
Yeah, and they already have their bot lane rotated up here. Kinnon's gonna be able to stop or potentially stop this push.
ET has been at every single objective at the right time so far,
Yeah.
and especially this Alistar, which has been the X factor this game.
ET is impressive this game. Like they're like on time to everything. Oh, now setting up the dive for top. They took mid tower, gonna get the top outside tower after Herald.
Yeah, now Swagasm trying to stop it, but I mean, very little feet, 3 autos, and that's 20%.
A crack in Viego and a Vayne. It's gonna
Yeah.
be pretty hard to play against even as Ornn.
Yeah, Swagasm's trying to do it. He does get the wave cleared and a knockup under Frayed Little Feet, so that's going to be half of Frayed Little Feet's HP down the drain, but they still have the Heralds. And now Dr. Dad and Paint Liquor finally making their way up to the top side, but too little too late. They're already backing, they're already resetting.
Elysium Terra has some pretty good lane priority with the LeBlanc static for the
Yeah, but now they're
12th
looking
year,
to set up
12th year in a row.
Dragon.
Feels like. Like
Yeah, I think it's only been this season, right? But
Yeah, basically.
it's the longest season ever.
Is Static
there
Shift
ever
still
been a
part of the new...
build-
Is the start of the new game? Oh.
on PBE, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they are trying to dive onto Zooey, but Zooey is one hard person to catch, so they're going to call that off while Learning gets dove on the opposite side, and Learning doesn't have the escape to get away like Zooey does.
Alistar says, I can tank way better than you.
Though learning with the Orianna is might be a little bit more efficient in team fights. Zooey's a lot harder to catch under a tower. So once you catch learning under there with a Alistar and just the free CC that Elysium Terra has drafted for themselves, it's kind of just hard to outplay if you're learning.
Yeah, they have the Herald going towards the second tier, so it shouldn't get it because Vimstat and Swagasm are here, but it's going to get down a lot of damage. Now the Call of Force God going out with the Cataclysm, so great double knock up there, but the Kinnon ulti is buying the Vayne time to get down crucial damage, but a shutdown for Learning, and now they're on top of Fire. They might have stayed a little bit too long. Fire trying to
Diego's
kite it
coming.
out. Diego is
gonna
on his
go for
way.
the flank.
Alley-oops goes forward, gets a quadruple knockup with the miss Varus
Oh,
ultimate.
but nothing.
But now Alistar
Nothing
is in a
follow-up.
little bit of a tight spot. He's probably going to drop here. His ultimate has ran out, but he lives. They turn off of him too fast. And Zooey
Oh,
going to be able to
yes.
distract them and get them out. And Alley-oops is going to survive once again.
Who's that good for? That like, I think that was good for Spectre.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, no,
no,
they're getting a
look at
tower?
Elysium. Elysium
No.
is
Now
still
they're getting
on
a
the
tower.
map.
They took the red.
Yeah, maybe not.
Spectre has to stay, unfortunately, or has to back.
Oh, Zooey just
Oh.
causing problems, but he does get knocked up and
Oh, this
knocked
could be a
back. He
pick.
might be able to get away.
His W
The
worn
Varus
off.
Q is not going to connect. Zooey's
Should
going
have
to
one
just
more.
W and get away. So I guess
His
I
R
don't
should be
think he
coming
can
up as
change.
well.
Yeah.
And he's out. Now they should really reset. Baron's coming up here in about a minute. I want to see them get control of the top side of the map. Get that last outer turret top. And the game should be pretty free.
Yeah, I mean, they're already
End by 25 minutes.
6,000 gold up. Baron on the table in a minute, like you were saying. And that's a pretty big gold lead to deal with when Baron's this close to spawning.
Especially
I
with the
like
Kraken and the Vayne.
Oh no, Swagasm.
Yeah, Swagasm looks like a dive is going to happen down here.
Do they have
Will they
enough
have the
damage?
damage? They're just going to get the
Well,
tower. They don't even
don't
need
have
the tower
tower.
dive. So Swagasm is going to fall. Kinnon ulti gets dropped. That's a pretty big one to use, but a pick is a pick, and that is going to be Swagasm falling to the alley-oops roam once again.
Bro, ban this guy's Alistar. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was an oops that you let him have Alistar.
Yeah, Learning. Oh, going a little deep here. Dr. Dad is
Oh.
not going to be enough to get him away. Oh, actually, I lied. Flash forward and
Apparently
a
it
nice
was just
fuse.
enough to get him away.
Yeah.
Looked a little weird, but Learning gets out. Doesn't have to use R, just had to use Flash there. and they have a possibility for a team fight at least.
Yeah, Vimstat, the sole player to try to deal with Zooey's split push while the rest of his team is making plays around the map, but I don't think he's going to be strong enough to really deal with this champion.
Yeah, they don't actually have a way to answer
Oh.
the split this game.
I mean, the answer would be
Just,
Ord, but he needs TP.
Yep.
Kennen is also 1 million mastery.
Needs to be in a fight.
Sometimes it's actually kind of hard to like. Not too often do you see a Kennen actually do too much to an Ornn, or like in terms of comparable impacts, especially later into the game. But OP Ivy has kind of had control the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, mechanically, all of their champions pretty much are harder than the side of Spectre, but they're just performing on them, so doesn't even matter.
Yeah, pings onto the Baron. Baron is going to get started up here. Vayne is probably one of the fastest champions to do this alongside
As
the
well
Viego.
as Viego. Yeah.
So let's see what they can do. Alley-oops is going to hex
Well,
slash
for the
over to
fight.
try to keep the team away. TP coming in. Another TP by the Orianna. They're going to go in. Alley-oops goes in a little bit too far by himself. That's going to be called the forward draw down, but it's only on to Alley-oops, and Alley-oops is for some reason the main target here. He will fall, but is that going to be enough to win this fight? It's going to be another kill picked up, but Zooey and Frey Little Feet are wreaking havoc in the back line.
resets.
Fire is super low. He's going to die to the Ornn Breath of Fire, and now it's just down to OP Ivy and Frey Little Feet to do some work. Zooey is super low. Frey Little Feet trying to get some damage. Zooey hitting people over the wall, but Frey Little Feet will fall if he gets hit by another auto. And that's going to be a 3 for 2 in favor of Elysium
Just
Terra.
cannot kill the Severus.
But I felt like that's a lot of tempo lost there. Despite
It
them coming
is,
out on
it
top.
is.
Lock in Varus and lock in Ornn for your next arena game, and you will probably win. Because all Ornn just sat on the Varus, even though Varus is still going the Radiant Virtue build, so he's
I
even
don't
lacking
like
a little
it.
bit
I
damage.
don't like it. Not this game.
Kind of do, but like not.
Where-
so much
where's
more.
their
because
DPS?
Kennen and the Blanc might just flank them and try to
Well,
one-shot
then you
him
get
the
Maul,
entire game.
right? Surely you just buy Maul and go more DPS, but I guess we'll have to see
I'm not
what
sure.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how it pulls out.
I haven't really seen it not work, to be fair.
He looked pretty healthy that fight, so
The thing is, can he do enough damage before
Yeah, that's
his
the only
rest of his
issue.
team dies? And oh wait,
Ignore that. I know what just happened. Ignore that.
gotta level up, guys.
got an
Let's
8k
go.
gold lead for ET right now. I'm trying to get this soul actually.
Yeah, they are on
This
soul
Chemtech
point.
soul.
Watch Zooey on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, so he's gonna go right onto Dr. Oh, he's just gonna auto attack. I felt like he could have got a huge burst there before he went back.
I don't think he has the vision.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna be
he's very
engaged forward
scared
by
of this Varus
Swagasm.
R.
Swagasm's gonna get CC'd by the Vayne. Vayne's just free hitting Swagasm right now. They're trying to get down as much damage. Zooey's gonna go forward with Call the Forward God going out, gets a double knockup, but not onto great priority targets. OP Ivy getting a
Ivy!
huge ultimate, and that's gonna be a 5-man stun, and that's gonna be Fire wreaking havoc onto the backlight. Vimsat falls.
Boom,
OP
double kill.
Ivy is still in the back. Learning is at 1 HP. It is a 4v1. Can he get away? He
Oh, no, Vito's
cannot. And that is going to be the ace.
Ivy
And that should
making
be Baron and
space.
Soul.
Holy, what a play! Now I see the million mastery points from the Kennen.
He waited, yeah, he waited till the perfect time, I gotta say. I mean, usually a Kennen will go in way too early and screw up their timing. That was perfect.
Yeah, that was a
Wait till they're all
5.
clumped.
I think that was a 5-man stun ult right there. Like,
Yeah, he doesn't even have Zhonya's. He doesn't care if he dies. He's just playing for the fight. Respect.
yeah, that will be Baron taking an 11k gold lead here for Elysium Terra in game number 1, and they are on the march to the soul, on the march to end this game before the Baron runs out.
Yeah, they don't want this fight to be delayed too much. They want to use this Baron as much as they can here. Although I hope they don't go out too far. This Alistar could get picked here.
Well, we've seen the fights before where Alistar gets picked, and they still don't go that in favor of Spectre Gaming.
Yeah, Elysium Terra's comp is just very, very slippery.
Yeah, now Zooey going to go forward on a Paint Licker, get down some autos, while Frey Little Feet is trying to clear out some vision.
got to be careful with those W's though. If he gets hit by a Verisar,
Alistar
probably just dead.
Alistar caught on the flank. That's going to be the Verisol down. So Alistar is a little bit of trouble. They're trying to get OP Ivy there in time, but Learning is
not
out
in
there
a good
by
position.
himself, and he's going to fall at a Furry Little Feet. And now it is a 4v5 while Vayne is pushing mid, but a engage forward by Furry Little Feet with his ultimate is going to get down more damage, and a double kill picked up. He's going to get the triple. Can he get the quadra? It's just Swagasm and Dr. Dad. He is Varus. He is Viego. He gets the quadra.
Vayne's
Is this
pushing
a
down mid
pentakill
with
in
the
the
block.
finals? Swagasm is low. I think Swagasm falls. I think this is the pentakill for
Wow.
Elysium Terra in game number 1. And that is going to be the game. It's an ace. 15 seconds left on the timers. Vayne and Zooey are there. And
He actually has
what
the perfect build as well.
what a spectacular
It was so OP
fashion
here.
to end game 1 and to bring the morale as low as you can. A pentakill for Furry Little Feet and game 1 for Elysium Terra.
You know, yeah, I think I underestimated Elysium Terra's players a little bit.
What
I'll
an
have to-
insane
Might be a
come out for
3-2.
him.
Nah, we'll see. I'm gonna stick with my things though, but we'll see.
Yeah, you
a
can't
whole
change
lot
it
more
now.
interesting, I'll tell you that.
You already
No,
made your
no,
predictions.
no,
You can't change it.
Yeah.
But
This
we're
is
gonna.
one- this- yes.
Oh, go ahead.
No, no, it's gonna be a 2 games, easy peasy for Elysium Terra, and then it's gonna be like they're gonna get cocky and they're gonna lose one, and it's just gonna be what it is, and then we're gonna see a goddamn another pentakill. We'll see.
All right. Well, we're gonna send it off to a break while we get things ready for game number 2 of the finals between Spectre Gaming and Elysium Terra. We will be right back.
do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. We lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm. Now we won't go back home today, until the very last hour. We still got few more days to slay, it's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. We lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm.
right, everybody, we are in the draft for game number 2. Spectre Gaming has opted to take red side this game. I am joined by Tygoo and Vaprito, and let's see what happens. That was quite a dominating performance for ET in game number 1.
So proud of these guys. They like got onto the same side of the lobby, like in the perfect order, like instantly. You don't see that a lot in amateur League of Legends. So good job to everyone. But ET, they're winning right now. They're gonna go 2 up. I predicted it. Betting Alawi again, making sure that Dr. Dad, or not Dr. Dad, Swagasm can't embarrass him. Because we know that that would happen if he got that champion.
Yeah, quite a performance nonetheless. So let's hopefully we see Alistar get removed. Please remove Alistar. Like
Alistar was a great contender there in that last game, and he really started a lot of those fights and got LeBlanc ahead and Viego.
yeah, ET
Just
has
controlled the map.
Yeah, ET opting for the same bans that they did in game number 1. Got rid of Tristana, got rid of the Alawi.
If they get Alistar again, do we just go game 3 draft?
Yeah, it's an FF. Bring it on next.
Maybe they have a plan. Maybe they have a percent HP team comp they can run or something.
Alistar is hard to deal with. But yeah,
Their
Vayne,
name is Ali Oops, and like it's a oopsie if you don't pick this champion. If you don't ban this champion away from them, it just is.
something that Paintlinker does play is the Draven. I don't know if he plays the Vayne, but Draven pretty decent at stopping Alistar from going in. Just you don't really get that damage to deal with him when he ults. So we'll have to see if that's what they opt for, but I'm really hoping to see it get rid of here.
I'm curious to see if we see like the Jarvan Orianna comp again from Spectre Gaming. It didn't really seem like they knew what they really wanted to do early to mid game and how they wanted to transition, or like I don't really think they had a lot of power in any of their lanes. Like
Yeah,
their Varus Milio was doing okay, but like they still kind of got stomped.
I think they just needed to scale a little harder, and they needed to play safer early.
something that is a little bit concerning about the Orianna pick as well is Zui is very good at punishing low impact mages early on, or like just mages that have little to no escape. He's done it against Xerath. He's done it against Orianna. We just saw it again last game. So if you're gonna lock in those safe control mages in the mid, you got to really target Zui's champion pool. But a Yasuo and a Zact. Okay. Already coming out with some spice.
Taking the Zac away from ET.
I was gonna say, like, they're banning Tristana away from learning. Learning doesn't necessarily, like, they're not banning away his team fight wombo combo champions. They're banning away the champions where he can just jump around the map and just kill their team and make a huge impact and just get a lot of gold. Yasuo with a comp built to random is a champion that can get a lot of gold.
Yeah, and something that they just locked in the Poppy to try to counter the Zac. I'm curious if that is going to be a Zac top or a Zac jungle. Because last time we saw Zac top into Poppy, absolutely
Or support.
crushed. Oh yeah, or support, true. Zac is super flexible this game, but last time, Zac destroyed Poppy top. But it's actually going to be a Poppy jungle, so I lied.
I mean, so we're looking at Spectre Gaming. Yeah, the Yasuo, the Zac. We're probably going to see another wombo combo champion here. But looking at Elysium Terra, they're doing something a little bit different. They're going with the Ziggs and then a weak side top laner. You can pick Renekton into almost anything. So
yeah, they're gonna. If you can pick them into anything.
They're just gonna try to move Ziggs around the map and get these early towers, these early outside towers, and just snowball off of that. So we kind of see an idea of Elysium and Spectre Gaming. Ooh, the Tom Kench.
I think that's a Tom Kench top. He was hovering Ornn there.
Is that a bait?
I'm curious. It could be. It could be. I'm curious if that is a Tom Kench top or if that's going to be going down into the support role.
And where do you think the Ziggs is? Is this guaranteed mid, or do they draft it as well?
I think Idris plays Ziggs. Fire, sorry. I guess he name changed.
So that's a mid and maybe a top laner picked for Spectre Gaming. and they're on red side, so are they gonna
Hey,
like what are they trying to
Yasuo,
counterpick?
Yasuo 80 carry. Here we come, boys.
Oh, you think? No way.
Into Ziggs?
There's no shots.
Into
Is
Ziggs?
that
Spectre
a
just
thing?
needs some DPS here.
They do.
Ooh, it's Paint Liquor. Does Paint Liquor play Yasuo? Have we seen that once
Preferably
ever?
ranged. If that is a TK top, I wouldn't be surprised if they went a double ADC or double DPS bot lane. Although I don't know what they would pull out for that necessarily.
We could also see a Senna TK just in general, because
Yeah.
again, but I'm honestly wouldn't be surprised to see the Yasuo go bot. He blocks everything that Ziggs throws, so it's pretty efficient at stopping that, assuming that is a Ziggs 80 carry, which is where you see it most of the time.
I'm kind of liking the
Ooh.
TK, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get it.
Yeah, with that locked
Very
in, that
interesting.
is going to be TK top, Zach in the jungle. I'm kind of surprised that
Very
Spectre
interesting.
Gaming didn't lock in their 80 carry there, unless that is Yasuo ADC, but that would be very weird with the Yuumi.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're holding the option open for.
Like
They
it
just
can't
wanna
be
flex it.
it can't be Yasuo Yuumi, right? Like that's not a thing. So are they holding their R5 pick for 80 carry?
I would have
Like,
liked to
is
see
that a
the 80.
thing?
I would have liked to see the 80 carry pick R4 there, because it still allows the confusion of where the TK is going, where the Zach's going.
Right, you want to use the power of your
Mordekaiser
flex
mid.
picks.
Yeah.
So
now,
Ziggs
ooh,
probably going ADC here.
yeah.
No, Mordekaiser mid is such a good pick.
And
Mordekaiser mid is a great pick into these low range mid lane.
yeah,
Like, I mean,
especially Yasuo.
like what can Yasuo do, especially once they hit 6?
And Jan
Like,
is a
this
great
is-
pick here as well.
This is where we're gonna see the Yasuo go bot for sure.
Elysium Terra is prepared. Like,
Whoa!
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
No, it's
Whoa!
Poppy support. They swapped it all up. Poppy support.
whoa!
Okay.
Graves. Huh. They figured they needed more damage. I was gonna say if they locked in that guy that they only thing they need is a little bit of damage. But I thought they might have been fine to be honest. This might be a little more,
Nah.
little riskier, but the
So I'm
Syndra.
thinking, yeah, I'm
That
thinking
is-
Mord goes
that's
top
Yasuo 80
because of
carry.
the percent damage.
That's
With the
Yasuo 80
Tom, but
carry.
Renekton removes shields for the TK.
It has to be an
is
empowered
my only thought
W.
on
It has to be
Yeah,
empowered
yeah,
W,
yeah.
so as long as he's
Wait.
timing it. But I think that could be a Yasuo bot. It's going to be really rough into a Poppy support, but he's going to stop a lot of what Ziggs is
Yeah,
doing if he
Poppy
knows how to play
Ziggs
it.
doesn't seem that fun to play into, but also Ziggs is gonna be a lot less useful into the wind wall. And a heavy tank tame as well. Even going Leandries. Although they do have double Leandries, which is pretty nice.
So Furry Little Feet, okay, to be fair, was kind of like stomping all over Spectre Gaming last game.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
with 13-1 on the Viego. So like before, I would have said, yeah, I kind of like the Janna. It made more sense, a little bit more disengaged for the Ziggs. They can run around the map, get all the gold. But if you put names on the champions, Furry Little Feet has been very dominant. At least whenever I
really like
watched
to
him.
see him go Ignite here on Graves. I really don't think he needs Flash into that team comp. He can E pretty much everything other than like Syndra. And I feel like Ignite is just so disgusting here, but it's pretty unlikely that it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
But I think that would make him power spike a lot faster.
based off of like comps, I would definitely favor Elysium Terra here. Like, I'm not entirely sure what we're wanting the Yuumi. Like, I don't know. Maybe
I
Yuumi
feel like
just
Spectre's
fakes the
damage is
Yasuo
a
OP,
little too hard to apply, especially on Yasuo here.
Yeah, and
but if
there's
Yasuo and Syndra get ahead, like,
I think
Yeah.
picking the Yasuo this early may have been a mistake
yeah,
into a team like Elysium Terra that
It-
can draft like this.
it is a super hard lane to like. He's probably like one of the hardest flex picks. Like yes, Yasuo is a flex pick, so it's a little bit. It's enticing, right, to pick those flex picks,
But you're
especially on red
guaranteeing a
side.
DPS on melee.
Yeah,
That's the only issue.
but yeah, I was gonna say like Yasuo is probably one of the worst flex picks out of the options that you do have because of what he provides. Like his damage doesn't get super high unless he's having a super pop off game, because it takes him so long to actually get to those 2 items for this full crit, 100% crit, and into these team fights, because of unless he has some great setup. But his only setup, realistically speaking, is the Zac engage, which is just going to get stopped by the Poppy every single time.
Syndra as well.
I mean, Syndra
after
does
her
have the
rework.
E knock up.
Well, I mean, a lot of her power now comes from her splinters, which will be coming later into the game.
Yeah.
So like a lot of their damage is kind of on the back end of the game, which I don't know based off of the first game that they're going to be able to keep up with Elysium Terra's objective based team comp here.
Yeah, and we do have the Mordekaiser top, Renekton mid. So a super hyper aggressive mid laner once again coming out
Yeah,
of
Renekton's
Zui.
getting to Yasuo as well. Not getting to Syndra though. Although I don't know if, like what Tygoo is saying, I don't know if they want Yasuo Yumi bot lane. Feels kind of weird.
That's the only option.
But,
That's the only option.
Yeah, you definitely don't want Yasuo into Renekton.
You don't even want Yasuo in a Mord, I'm pretty sure.
No.
Like he's just gonna slap him.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, Frostbyte, you're a
Not play it,
Yasuo
but-
bot lane connoisseur. So
No,
like,
I am.
you were talking about.
I hate
Yasuo
Yumi,
and
so
Ziggs a bit.
I.
So into Poppy support.
It's so
Like
bad. It's so bad.
I haven't played. Oh,
That's
is
like
it?
that's like
Okay.
playing like
Yeah.
playing Callista in a Poppy, bro. You just get half of all of your movement stopped. It's a lot worse
Oh.
on Callista, but it's gonna stop Yasuo from ever closing the gap onto Ziggs. So realistically speaking, Yasuo's just gonna be farming up, letting the Yumi do some poke, and it's gonna be hard for this Yasuo to grow a lead down there, because they don't have a secure way to get onto Ziggs, to get onto Poppy, because of what Poppy can do. Because Poppy not only stops Yasuo, it stops Zac, their biggest tool to actually get them rolling in that bot lane.
Right. So prediction-wise, I'm leaning towards Elysium Terra. Not only is it based off of my set games and like all before, but I'm kind of liking their comp a bit more. How about you two?
Same thing.
Yeah, I think their comp's actually tailored versus Spectre very well. If Spectre had another 80 DPS, maybe they could pull something off because of Yasuo's armor pen. But he's the only AD champion on their team anyways, so it's really not doing anything. So yeah, I feel like they're just gonna have a lot of trouble sticking their damage.
Yeah. But we are going to send it off to a break while we load into the Rift for game number 2 between Elysium Terra and Spectre Gaming. Honestly, the game seems like it's going to be a lot in Elysium Terra's hands, so we're going to have to see what SG can do to try to turn the tables. But we'll be back in just 3 minutes. right, everybody, we are loaded onto the Rift for game number 2 between Elysium Terra and Spectre Gaming. Tygoo and Vaporto, are you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Tygoo? He's muted. Uh-oh. This guy.
I'm muted. I'm here. Let's
All
go.
right. 3, 2, 1, 11, 12, 13.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Let's see if Spectre Gaming with this very interesting comp is going to be able to turn this around, because it's all over the place right now.
It's looking like an early fight, maybe. Oh,
Yeah, they are looking for a potential invade, but they're going to get spotted out by Zooey.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
they're being a little weird right now.
Yeah,
Going a little weirdo mode.
Tygoo, your mic.
What?
You were. We could hear you. Breathe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So both teams got some early vision down once again. So no surprises on where people are starting.
Vaporto,
TP
you're a
on
jungler.
Ziggs here.
Yeah, that's a pretty standard thing to go on Ziggs. It kind of just makes you have like that that permanent prio over bot lane. You don't necessarily need like the safety just because of you're just using your Q to farm. Like your range is pretty insane. So
Yeah, fire
whenever-
taking some damage. What were you gonna ask Vaporto, by the way? You said.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. How are you looking to path as Zach or Graves in this game?
Zach, I mean, this is going to be really hard for Zach. Best case scenario, you can probably get an early gank bot lane here before Poppy has W. But I mean, the problem is he's playing against Graves, who's a hyper farmer, so if he does that, and the Graves takes his whole top portion, he could just be out of the game for the next 8 minutes. So he's probably just gonna full
they
clear
do.
her.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's doing that though. So no invading by the Graves.
Yeah. Graves can kind of gank any lane he wants. I mean, bot honestly isn't even that hard because he has Poppy. It's probably just gonna be hardest to kill, maybe Tom
Oh,
Kench.
Swagaz's taking some big chunks of damage up there.
Looking at top lane, like you might think that Mordekaiser does a lot more to TK than the other way around, but TK actually has a lot of percent health magic damage himself. So it's kind of like early Mordekaiser will have the lead. I mean, post 6. I mean, it's like it's not great for Tom Kench, but at the same time, if Mordekaiser screws up a little bit of wave management or a trade, it can very easily swing in the favor of the Tom Kench in top lane.
Yeah, now we have Paint Liquor going forward, getting that wind wall off into fire. We just saw it block so much. Now alley oops could be in a little bit of danger. Ignite goes down, and this could be first blood for for Paint Liquor. Yumi snipes it with the Q though. Now Fire is in a little bit of trouble. He's gonna have to try to flash out if he wants to get away. He does flash, but he gets hit by the tornado, and that's gonna be Yumi!
Oh! Oh no!
And now very little
Dr. Dad
feet
there too.
on to very little feet onto Paint Liquor and Dr. Dad, but it's not going to be enough. And now OP Ivy with the gank from Vimstack going to get pulled closer to the enemy tower. Swagasm is just staying healthy with the Qs, but OP Ivy's going to fall.
Fight it out. Yeah.
And that's going to be Vimstack picking up a kill for himself. What a impressive start from Spectre Gaming.
Yeah, tell us what's up, Spectre. Tell us that Yasuo is actually one of the best bottlers, apparently. Just, 2v2 him, why not?
Yeah, if Yasuo wins
Root
this game,
sauce.
if Yasuo wins this game, I'm permanent Yasuo. You guys remember the Karthus trends? Going back to Yasuo.
I mean, if you can pull it off like this guy, I mean, go ahead, because Paint Liquor is popping off. Now it's about almost 2k gold up for Spectre Gaming at just 4 minutes.
greatly. They need it too to carry this game. They're gonna need to be a decent amount of gold ahead, I would assume, to be able to equal the damage coming from ET here.
Yeah, at least until Syndra hits those splinter stacks that Tygoo was talking about in draft.
I mean, once Zac has 2-3 items, he's just going to be AoEing people for half their HP in these fights. So if they can get to that point, and get a few good Zac Rs in these team fights into Yasuo R, I could see them pulling this game off as well.
If you have 100 games in League of Legends, then one of those games has been an experience where Zac has gone 8-0, 8-0, and 13, and he's just like ulting, bouncing over your team, and there's nothing you can do about it. And
You can never kill him.
Yeah, and Mimsat is kind of on that road right now. It is a
They
bit
don't
early.
really have percent HP unless Renekton decides to buy Bork here. They'll probably have the Leandries on Ziggs and hopefully Mordekaiser.
OP Ivy stepping forward does have the ult. You got to keep an eye out for that. Death Realm, super powerful in those ganks.
Ooh, maybe another fight.
Yeah, Paintlicker's going to miss a Q. Going to try to dash forward. I think he's trying to bait out Alley-Oops' W. But now Frey Little Feet is in the back with Zac channeling the Z. He's going to go in, but it gets interrupted by Alley-Oops, and now it's going to be a 3v3 in the bot side. Windwall's going to go out, not going to block too much.
Still don't know Graves is here. Oh no, they do. He's sitting on a ward. They're wasting his time. This is very good.
Yeah, but Paintlicker taking quite a bit of harassment there.
Watching Poppy's kind of split off from the map here. Alley-Oops might be in a little trouble.
It's going to be super hard for Paintlicker and Dr. Dead to get over there, though, because of where the Graves is. But
So
now we
not
have
a lot is happening here.
we have both mid laners
Really just
roaming down,
wasting each
though.
other's time.
Now we have a little bit of a cheeky invade here onto Vimstat. That's something that Frey Little Feet loves to do, but Fire taking some exponential damage there. Ignite's going to go down. Zac's going to charge up the E, but Poppy is staying in wait. Zac's going to go forward onto Zooey. No knockup's going to connect, and Zooey's going to dash forward through him, and that's going to be Zac dropping the
that's
passive.
passive.
This is pretty big. I don't think Zac's going to be able to get away from this. They don't have the TP to keep him safe, and Zooey's going to pick up a kill for himself.
Bit off a little more than he could chew there in the fight, and he dies for it. And doesn't look like they're actually going to go for Dragon here.
Yeah,
Which
maybe
I'm kind of surprised about.
maybe onto Learning. Learning's in a little bit of a tough situation. Has to drop that flash out, but he's taking
There's
so
the
much
flash. Might
damage.
actually
from Frey Little
die.
Feet.
But dodges the second part of
Oh,
the Q, so he should be fine now.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh
Almost
my!
a comeback from Learning there.
Yeah, now we have Alley-Oops going over the wall to try to find Learning, but is not going to find him. I think if Learning was under that tower, Alley-Oops would have died.
Yeah, he would have died. Yeah, well, it depends on the CDs, but...
I mean,
Like,
what?
Poppy Passive would have also just killed.
I'm still trying to like process these events and like what's happening. Like
This is a very interesting game. So,
it's only 1-2 by 8 minutes, but there's a lot more that's happening in this story than what the scoreboard is showing.
yeah, it's pretty close. I would say that ET actually has the advantage in the long term. They're gonna end up being able to buy a lot more damage into the side of Spectre. But if Spectre can get a couple early fights, they have a lot of base HP. So they could take it over, but Graves on the Herald.
Yeah,
9
Herald.
minutes in, 1 minute after spawn.
Yeah, Herald's gonna get
Support
started
up there with
here.
him.
This should be basically a free Herald for them. Now we have Tompkins trying to ult OP Ivy under the tower. He's gonna get it, and that's gonna be OP Ivy's flash. But Alley-Oops is here for a potential dive on the Swagasm while Fire gets pressured in the bot lane. Bot lane by Paintlicker and Dr. Dad. He's gonna get knocked up, but no ultimate by Paintlicker to actually secure that kill.
And Zib's ult being wasted just to keep him off from diving him.
Yeah, Herald is
And that
gonna
should
get
be a
picked up
dragon
too.
for Herald.
Okay, yeah.
Dragon,
Solo Mountain Drake, pretty nice for Spectre here.
an early dragon, maybe trying to stack those dragons. Ooh, there
Ooh,
seems to be a
Swagasm in a
2v1
little bit
here.
of trouble. Alley-Oops is going to get the pull with OP Ivy, and that's going to be Swagasm brought to the Death Realm. Let's see if he can survive it. He did drop the shield, but he doesn't have the HP, and OP Ivy's going to pick up a kill for himself. While Herald is dropped on the top
dropping the Herald
side.
a little early. I would have liked to see him get this plate off at least before he dropped the Herald to get one extra plate, but... Oh, and it's just going to fight the wave, so it's even more awkward. But all in all, he should get a lot of gold there, even though he's not even going to get it before he leaves base. The Grave should be pretty far ahead here.
Yeah, that's going to be a knock-up on the fires. We have Vimstat hovering the bot side. He is on a ward though, but Fire could be in a little bit of trouble. Paint Licker is going to go in, doesn't hit the knockup. He's going to ultimate for the knockup, and that's going to be a kill for Paint Licker. While Swag has him TPing back to the top side to get OP Ivy in a little bit of a dangerous spot. OP Ivy's going to drop the shield, but is he going to be able to run away? It doesn't look like it.
Has the wave to block the Q.
Yeah, Swag has him taking down a lot of damage. Swag has him might just fall, but he doesn't. He misses the Q, and that's going to be a kill picked up for Swagasm.
Grasp autos too much.
Grass plus those percent HP Q, and just the raw damage of that magic damage Q. I don't know.
EK passive, yeah, gives him
CC too. It's just hard to. It just feels awkward to move if you're playing against Tom Kench, to be honest.
Yeah, Learning is trying to protect Vimstat's blue here, but a flash forward by Furry Little Feet onto Learning, but he hits the plant and he's going to get knocked back, but a huge engage there by Vimstat for a knockup, and Paint Licker is going to pick up one kill from Zet. Zooey is looking for some more, but he's not going to be able to find anyone quite yet. Paint Licker has to flash out with exhaust going down by Poppy. Whew.
Spectre kind of winning the fights, but not really getting much out of them.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can really hope for. You
Only
gotta
1K gold up.
Like how these fights are coming, like how they're forming, it's like I'm not really sure who has the direct advantage, like come super late game.
Sorry, I thought something was gonna happen there mid.
Boppito, are you giving an edge to either team in the late game, or would you say that they're pretty even and each one is trying to just find their own angle?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, again, it's just gonna be hard for Yasuo to play the game in the late game. I feel like I would love for him to prove me wrong, but especially because they have Renekton, Mordekaiser, Poppy, it just feels hard for their DPS to actually provide a lot of backup here.
Yeah, and I mean, you have the Yuumi, but Mordekaiser kind of just kicks Yuumi off of whoever Mord brings to the Death Realm. So it's almost like a wasted support pick. Like, it's working in lane right now, but I feel like it's going to be hard for Dr. Dad to actually be performing in that mid to late game. But a knock up on the Fire with the Yasuo ultimate follows suit, and now Fire's going to get dropped super low while Dr. Dad is tanking, but Dr. Dad gets right back on a Paint Licker before he drops.
Oh.
But what? I don't even know what killed him.
Yuumi was tanking the whole time.
Oh, the tower, is that what it was? But now Frey Little Feet on the run down here. Alley-oops is trying to keep him in position, and that's going to be a kill picked up for Frey Little Feet.
That's 150 gold shutdown. That should be his first item, Duskblade on back here. And Graves, if he can get ahead this game, he can take control of this front line by himself as well.
Yeah, that's a disaster for Spectre Gaming. You are not wanting to give Graves that shutdown, especially if you're Yasuo, who is also a close range, kind of a squishier champion, which is kind of what Graves just will always welcome into his grasp. So
Flash for the Renekton R. Yeah, if this Graves gets an early Black Cleaver here after this first item, he can just shred that front line so hard they won't be able to do much.
Yeah, Zooey is trying to put down some dominance in this mid lane, but Learning playing super safe, super well. Definitely more of a comfort pick for him versus the Orianna. A lot more ways to stay
has had
alive.
to use Flash a few times, but has not died.
Yeah,
although it looks like they're trying to make it happen here.
Yeah, Alley-oops is on the flank. They did spot it on the ward, though.
Should have Hex Flash. Oh, his regular Flash just came up, actually. Timing's a little awkward. Dragon spawning here in under a minute.
They're gonna prioritize Dragon a bit here. Yasuo pushed in the wave, so he's gonna be here mid lane.
On the map. Ziggs is not. they really need to get a fight in before Ziggs can push that wave in.
Yeah, but it
And beat
doesn't
them
look
up
like
here.
they are going to be able to. Both top laners are actually, no, Swagasm the only one with the TP, so they have the TP advantage.
It's just impossible to engage into a Poppy comp.
Oh, looks like they have an angle here on Ziggs.
Coming
Ziggs is caught
behind
out.
Ziggs.
Yeah, Ziggs is going, Vimsa's going forward onto Fire. Now Fire going to go right to the enemy tower, but I don't think he's going to be able to get away
no
from Paintlicker.
flash.
Paintlicker's just going to have the dashes through, and that's going to be Fire more
Might
than
just
likely
be trying to
dropping.
get the tower.
He is trying, but he
His
will
W,
not.
But, oh,
So this gives perfect priority to Spectre Gaming for this Dragon.
Dragon number 2. The stack is real at this point. 15 minutes, 2 drags up. They can get the
Dragon
soul
is this.
before 30 minutes on this pace.
let's see. Okay, so it's not going to be another of the same soul, but
Ooh, Poppy going to drop that ulti, but it doesn't connect.
an Infernal Soul would be very nice for the side of Spectre Gaming here if they want the damage to come back. Oh,
Pause.
BTL pause. The classic. You can't get without
Can't
one
get out of
in
the
this
series.
in the final. Hell no, that's just not an option. Mid ganked is the reason for the pause. Apparently, I assume that's an IRL.
inked by mom.
Yeah. Thankfully, a short pause, so we don't really have to stall for too long. But we're going to get the spectator delay as well. So
Yeah, all right, well, now that we're in this pause, while we wait for them to ready up and for the client to kind of get back into tempo, where are the strengths here? Like what does Spectre Gaming need to do to kind of get more control of this game? Because they have had decent control, but their fights aren't necessarily going completely in their favor.
Yeah, Zach needs damage, really. I think he just needs demonic. I'm not entirely sure what mythic he goes here this game, but he has Conqueror, which is correct here. He just needs to be a little bit of damage, and then maybe they can get through this front line. The game's paused.
Yeah, it
Yep.
does this after a
Okay.
pause to let it re-evaluate. You guys both going on now?
16, 01,
Yep.
02.
Perfect. Ooh, Swagasm gonna get pulled in by that Mordekaiser with a TP on the
bot.
backside of Learning, but Learning is trying to get away, and it looks like he should be able
the
to. A
flash.
flash forward by Poppy and a flash forward by Zooey.
Another flash.
And that's going to be the kill picked up. But a huge fight breaking out on the top side. OP Ivy tried to catch out Swagasm in the death realm, but it's not going to be enough. That's going to be another
And that
kill for
ends up being
Paintlicker.
worth for the side of Spectre here. They used a TP and at least 2 flashes there just to kill Syndra.
They did get
and it
first
looks
tower.
like another 2 flashes top just to run away.
Yeah, they were able to get that tower, though. So first tower going in favor of Elysium Terra.
They did get the tower. This next fight should be a lot easier for Spectre. However, they have 4 flashes or 3 flashes.
Very
up,
little
I should
feet, going to
say.
get dropped super low.
Oh,
Flash forward by Swagasm. He's trying to get some work done with his Q, but he's not going to be able to connect under Very Little Feet. Now he's just forced to fight Fire and alley oops. Honestly, you just stick on top of Fire, bro. Get that ultimate off. Come on. Yeah, he let the
doesn't
stacks
really
fall
care about
off.
using his gray health.
Yeah, he's trying to keep it for the heal to stay healthy in the lane, but that should be the mid tower falling as well. It just takes a little bit of a W here, and there it is.
Yasuo is still top with Zach.
Yeah, something
bit of a
alley-oops
risky
can't do.
engage.
Yeah, alley-oops can't stop the Tom Kinch engage though. So
Yes.
You saw
that
him try
was
to
the
chop
only
the
thing
W.
that was better about TK than Ornn, I believe.
So one thing to think about, okay, Swagasm is getting a bunch of Heartsteel stacks. So that was kind of the goal there. Seemed like, 'cause there wasn't a lot else to
Oh,
get.
Riftmaker actually coming in on Mord here.
yeah,
by
we
the
do
way.
have an engage on by Zooey. Zooey is going to get on top of
Tower's
Swagasm.
1 HP.
They got to kill this tower for him, but they are not going to be able to get it. And that's going to be the knockup from Yasuo to hopefully push Zooey away. But Zooey is still charging forward. A flash out of Learning to stay alive. And they
Yeah, it looks
greeded
like a little bit of
too much.
miscommunication there.
Yeah.
They wanted that tower, but they don't actually have any DPS for it, so just lives with a few auto attacks remaining.
One of the problems with picking Yasuo 80 carry is that you don't have that ranged DPS that you are normally accustomed to with a traditional comp, and Spectre did not opt to pick one for their mid or top lane or jungle, so
Now,
that's gonna be something that they have to
yeah.
focus on.
A couple interesting item buys here, though. I don't necessarily agree with either the Riftmaker or the Yomu's purchase on ET's side. The Yomu really shouldn't get that much value into that comp, and it's very risky playing that way into a Yasuo. Although I suppose you can just walk around his wind wall.
What do you build instead if you're furry little feet on the graves here?
Well, I would be playing for the front line this game personally, because their entire comp is a front to back. So if you kill our front line, you just win the fight. So I would have gone Duskblade Cleaver this game.
Yeah.
And just killed them front to back.
Yeah, we do have learning going on to Alley-Oops. Alley-Oops going to get dropped
Oh.
super low, and he's going to drop the ultimate for himself, but it's not going to be enough. Now Alley-Oops is
should
going
die
to
to
get dropped
Leon
so
Trick.
low, and that's going to be the burn picking up a kill for learning. And that's going to give him great priority on this mid tower and setup for the Drake.
They're
Dude
taking
doesn't
this
really
game
have
and they're
word
running
yet.
with it. Third dragon coming up in under a minute.
So you can't really match the Tom Kench of Swagasm here because doesn't really have that Borg, so no percent HP physical damage. Can't really keep up with the basic
Yeah,
damage.
now they're setting up a little bit of a dive here for Zooey. Zooey's going to clear the wave, but let's see if he can get out. He's going to drop the ult. That's going to be the Devour on the Paint Licker to make sure that he doesn't take damage from the tower. Zooey's going to get dropped low. Wow. Vimstat is oh no, Learning's in the death realm with OP Ivy. Learning has to try to survive a great dodge there on the Q, but he's not going to get enough to get out alive. But OP Ivy living with 1 HP in the backside. Wow, very little feet and fire deal damage on the front. And OP Ivy is still alive. That's going to be the Zac passive brought down, and that's going to be a huge team fight win for Elysium Terra.
Yeah, and it took a lot longer for them to win than I thought. I think because of the item changes, but they still ended up winning it, so.
And that's kind of the reason, like, that I noticed of Elysium Terra, like, how they got ahead so much in the first game is that it just seems like their comms are just a little bit more clear, a little bit more crisp, a little bit more crisper than Spectre Gaming's. Like, they seem to be a little bit off today.
Yeah, the way they're playing the fight is definitely a little cleaner, I would say.
Yeah, and on top of that, it felt like that Tom Kinchel was a little bit hasty there. If you had that Tom Kinchel to save Learning, maybe that fight's a little bit different. So a little bit of some misusage on the abilities.
Some delay here.
Now Paint Licker trying to get here. It's just Paint Licker and Dr. Dad.
Can't really do much after the initial.
Not going to lie, this is looking a little bit emotional, running past all of the waves, all of the gold to get you back into the game to make some hasty play, to try to somehow get those shutdowns.
Ooh, and the Collector coming in from Graves, he's playing for the backline, but again, I don't think that's how he should be playing the fights, or it's going to be really hard for him to. But we'll see. We'll see how the fights. Their comp, I still think, is a little bit better.
Yeah, Baron gets started up. Yeah, while 3 people are
Yasuo,
shown in the bot side.
And TK bot side, yeah. No TPs for Yasuo, so he has to walk all the way up.
Yeah, they do know that they're on this though. Vimstat is in position. Syndra has the teleport.
They have the they have the learning TP.
Yeah, they just gotta kind of delay it. Zac, you probably need to go in
TPs
right
coming
now.
In.
Alley-Oops is in position to try to stop it. Vimstat gets ulted, and that's going to be a Baron should be free for Elysium Terra while the fight breaks out. Vimstat's going to try to get down some damage, but he's not going to be able to get enough, and OP Ivy's going to pick up 1 kill in the Death Realm. Swagasm ults to save Paint Licker. Paint Licker has a huge shield on him, but it might not be enough. He's going to fall. That's going to be a double kill for the Mordekaiser with the Graves picking up 1 of his own, and that is going to be the ace for Elysium Terra and the Baron once again.
A 5-4-0 for Elysium Terra, and they show it yet again. Their clean team fighting that is bringing them to maybe the 2-0 in the BTL Season 14 Finals.
15. Season 15.
Is it 13 or
yeah.
15.
It's going to be really hard for
15 finals.
Spectre here, I think, to come back with that team comp. They don't have too much to delay, and they don't really have damage other than just being on top of them, so they're going to have to get some, like,
15.
nice 5v4 plays or something if they want to come back here.
Yeah, but that's going to blow the...
It's been around so long. Holy
yeah.
crap.
Now, that
15?
is a 3K gold lead going up to 8K off of that play. That is a massive gold swing there. They haven't even reset yet. And those fights, I mean, they're close, but they just cannot complete any of these kills on... Like, Spectre Gaming can't complete any kills.
This Mord is up an entire item of gold. Graves is up 2.5k. Mid is up maybe 500, really not much. But just that gold alone is going to be detrimental for Spectre Gaming here. And the last Whisper coming in for Graves. Now he's going to start to do some damage to that front line too.
I don't really see like Yasuo getting enough damage. Like he is all of the gold for Spectre Gaming for the most part, and I don't really see him getting a kill onto Ziggs. Nonetheless, Mordekaiser, Renekton, Poppy, like I don't know, and Graves will just one-shot him before Paintlicker can even get a chance. So it seems a little rough. They need to somehow get a numbers advantage in picks. Maybe like this.
Yeah. They're trying to stop the push, but this is going to be the final outer tower. It's basically in range for the Ziggs W, so...
They have the Baron Wave mid as well here.
Yeah.
You have to watch out for.
Looks like they're trying to go in onto OP Ivy, but OP Ivy has the Death Realm if needed. He's going to get engaged here, and he's going to get CC'd. Now it's going to be a huge shutdown there for Learning. And now they're going forward onto Furry Little Feet, but Furry Little Feet has the Blast Cone to get away. Wild, look at that bot side push right now. The Ziggs is there. It's only Cinder to stop him. They're trying to get the flank now.
Ults.
Yeah, now we have Zooey trying to get onto Learning, but he's not going to be able to complete it. And now they are in a very interesting position. Swag Guys going to go forward with the Abyssal Dive while Zooey is trying to get down some damage. Now Leo's going to pick up a kill onto Vimstat. That is going to be a Devour onto Fire. So Paintlicker is going to pick up one, but that is a lot of towers to fall for just 2 kills. Oh, Furry Little Feet going to get engaged on here by Swagasm, but the knockup from Paintlicker doesn't connect.
Not hitting.
And look at the kiting, look at the damage. He cannot be stopped. Furry Little Feet's going to be dropped down to 1, and he is finally shut down.
Oh, not enough mana, I don't think, for Learning to actually finish Poppy off here, and they're out. But this might be a 3rd dragon for Spectre Gaming if they can stay on the map here, and it looks like they will.
Yeah, and Inferno Soul getting picked up here could be what Spectre needs.
Big Soul.
They just got to delay for 5 more minutes and win a dragon fight.
And Kraken, I mean, the perfect item for Yasuo. He really does need Kraken this game to do any damage. It's looking good in terms of items. I just hope this Yuumi is able to apply enough presence and pressure in these fights.
Curious to see where they put the side lane assignments. Are they going to put the Renekton down bot lane against the Tahm Kench, where it's... I mean, it doesn't have
they have a lot more
Black
freedom,
Cleaver.
honestly.
Yeah.
And SP doesn't really have a way to deal with the side lane pressure, so I do think they should try to do that. Well, it doesn't look like that is what their plan is. Looks like they're trying to maybe shadow this Mordekaiser and get a pick when people come to him. Oh,
Looks
but
like
they're
it's
just
gonna be a
going
flank
behind.
on Tahm Kench.
He has the W to get out.
Swagasm's
Oh,
going to
but
drop
the
it, but it
cancel.
gets stopped by alley oops, and now Swagasm's a little bit in danger, and that's a huge pick for this push. Like, they're so far behind right now, and no one is here. Ziggs isn't quite here yet, though, so they might be able to get there in time before the tower falls.
Good ward into E. He also picked up the QSS here, so hopefully Renekton can't one-shot him. And Mord won't try to ult him every time.
Baron is up in under a minute, so I kind of want Elysium Terra to back here, get the resets.
I mean,
Maybe
they're not
they're just
sitting
gonna
on
push the
too
wave.
much gold. They're not sitting on, they're all sitting under 1,000.
The support have
They just need some
wards,
vision
though.
in the top side here. Back at some pinks maybe. And they just need to control this top side of the map.
Yeah, seems like 4 of them are going to stay to keep the pressure while Alley-oops backs for their wards with 2 control wards, so they should have a lot of zone control, a lot of vision control over this top side before this Baron spawns.
Yeah, 10 seconds on Baron right now. It looks like looking at alley oops, he's doing exactly what you're talking about, trying to get that vision control. Paint Licker's trying to step up with Vimstack, looking for an engage, but it doesn't connect onto anything. So slowly but surely fighting for this vision. Ooh, swag out.
Problem. One of the things that's kind of adding on to Spectre Gaming's miscommunication is also this vision control. Like, it's kind of hard to keep a 5 or 5 people communicate or aligned when you can't see anything. Like, it's hard to kind of have that synergy when you can't really know what the enemy is planning.
And just having one less champion on the map for pressure, to be honest, is a big deal in a lot of cases.
I assume you're talking about Yumi.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she has to stay on a champion really, or she doesn't get to exist.
Yeah, now Learning gonna get caught out and he's gonna get
Collector
exploded.
Yomu's, that is why he picked the item. So I got him leaving, maybe a little too early here.
Yeah, Paint Licker now the one sole
Oh!
fighter, but he's not gonna hit the
Flash.
knockup. A flash forward by OP Ivy to get the Death Realm
Oh,
locked in onto Swagasm. Paint Licker looking for a knockup. He does connect it, but Swagasm is in a little too deep. He is gonna die in the Death Realm with very little feet on the
Yeah,
snapback.
could have a big Zakar
And
here.
now Vimstat looking for a huge Zakar. He's gonna have to
So it
flash
doesn't
away,
ult.
so he does survive. But it is a 3v5, and it is down to these 3 to stop the behemoths that Elysium Terra are.
Yeah, Spectre just needs a lot more damage. I really think it needs to come from that Zac demonic. Just being able to actually apply some DPS during the fight. So he also is not the only champion doing something. Syndra is just gonna. I mean, Syndra is a pretty good champion here.
Oh, it was a nice
Timing was
attempt
pretty
there.
good.
But Vimstat will fall, and this looks like it is the end of the game. A final push with this
I like
Baron.
the ego doing it into Poppy.
He has to try, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. They should lose this dragon here. Looks like it's coming up in under 25 seconds, which is less than Zac's timer. So they should just be giving this for free. It doesn't really do anything for either team too much, so no big
Yep.
whoop, but keeps it off the map. Keeps
The
the soul off.
fights for Spectre seem to not really be aligned with what they drafted for. Like, very rarely have I seen like the Tom Kench like on top of the Yasuo, like while he, oh god, with the Tom Kench on top of the Yasuo, like making sure like he's okay after he uses his cooldowns, after
Yeah.
the ultimate, on top
Yeah.
of the Renekton. I don't know.
ET's just decided, okay, if Yasuo's your carry, we're just gonna kill your front line because you don't really have any ranged DPS that we care about. So we'll just kill you from front to back in linear order.
That's true. A lot of Yasuo's like safety is that Tom Kench, so Mordekaiser doesn't have to ult the Yasuo.
Great
that has
damage
this
on the
ult.
fire, but that's going to be the Hourglass popped with Learning dropping to Zooey. And that's going to be Fire staying alive. Zooey is trying to get down some damage while he sits on top of all of them. Swagasm is trying to keep people safe, but he ulted the Zac, and not exactly the target you want to ult. And now Swagasm in the Death Realm, and that is going to be 3 for none. Swagasm more than likely will
Tanking
fall.
for the team here.
And
Yep.
that's going to be the
And this should
game,
be
and that's going to be a
game.
2-0 lead for Elysium
We're gonna get
Terra.
another Penta.
Oh, are we
Or-
going to get a
or
Penta?
another-
Who is it? No
Bad
Penta
guy
for Zooey. It looks like Graves or Very Little Feet's the only one that wants a Penta this series.
Respect to Vimstat, he tried to give it. He tried, but
Even Graves said give, but he knew in his heart he had to take it.
All right. Well, we're going to send it off to a break while we get things ready for game number 3 for Spectre Gaming versus Elysium Terra, and potentially the last game of the night unless Spectre Gaming can do some fancy footwork in game 3.
Back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun. Are you ready? Let's go.
Now we're back from the dead. We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
Hello, everybody. Here we are for game number 3 draft between Elysium Terra and Spectre Gaming. Spectre Gaming has once again opted for the red side, and I am joined by Thopperto and Tygoo. If they're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello.
Aerospan
Hello?
coming in from Spectre.
Yeah, I
Different.
wanted to see Siggy's various because this is what I was gonna say. If you're walking down a Walmart beef jerky aisle and you see Old Trapper old-fashioned beef jerky, you're like, okay, I'll take a little bit of that. But then you look over to the left, you see the hot and spicy. And you see,
Oh, God.
you see the hot and spicy. You see Siggy over there, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna pick a little bit of that up as well. And that's what Elysium Terra just did. They have Siggy in the bot lane instead of Fire, who also is popping off in the first 2 games, but woo-wee, we got a little bit of hot and spicy in this game 3.
All right. Well, bans look relatively standard here for Elysium Terra with a slight change on what Spectre Gaming is doing. Ferris ban, keeping that Alistar ban, and Emilio ban.
Hecarim, they're letting stay open. Shouldn't be too hard to counter. I'm not sure. Maybe a brand pick from Bimstat. Oh, that actually could be. I mean, that's a flex pick for sure, but could be the Maokai jungle.
Are you gonna want to go brand against Maokai just because of like how easy it is to get hit
Yeah, I
by
don't-
Maokai engage?
I mean, if you can hold it for a flex, I think it's probably worth. Oh, and they insta pick it.
That is a flex. That is a
Oh.
flex.
The insta pick
saw-
it.
We
It
were
can go 3
spying on
rolls,
Bimstat. we were spying
least.
on him, and he's been playing it in the jungle. So
Yeah, and we have the
That's
Ezreal
real.
paired with it, so looks like they're trying to like kind of pepper down Elysium Terra's comp with those 2 picks before they really commit to anything. So we're gonna have to see if they're able to pull that off, because Brand Jungle, something that I've seen a lot in solo queue, doesn't always perform the greatest. We're gonna have to see if Bimstat can pull it off and change things around.
Yeah, I think the key thing is they need a nice front line that can kind of tank the Nautilus and Maokai engage for them. We'll see what they opt for in terms of that.
okay, I just made sure Bimstat in the jungle role has a 100% win rate. Never mind, a 50% win rate.
Okay. Okay. That's a little bit, a little bit different.
And I had to refresh. He won his first game as Brand, but then he went 5-10 and hinted a little bit. So
2 hours ago. That's a flex game.
2 hours ago, it was a flex
Doesn't
game. He
count.
wasn't trying.
So he's 3-2 in solo queue right now in his last 20. On the
oh, that's a positive win rate. That means there's a better chance of him winning this game than not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're also 0-2 against Elysium Terra. So or actually 0-4 if you take account the earlier games that happened earlier in the season. So
I like the
Yeah.
Rel pick. That's a great front line for them, I think.
Yeah, Rel getting picked up, something that Dr. Dad has played a lot of, and I'm surprised we're
Yeah.
waiting this long to actually finally see it pull it out.
Maybe
Elysium
just
Terra-
one more front line here.
Yeah, Spectre Gaming is
Spectre.
still having a little bit of an issue with Engage, whereas Elysium Terra, I kind of like their triggers more in terms of starting those team fights, which I kind
An
of
Ornn pick would be pretty
for-
nice.
will
for
see.
Spectre
Yeah,
here.
I expect an Ornn pick just to keep that brand flex for the jungle mid, at least.
Yeah, and gives the counter for mid.
Maybe Renekton for that blind pick, but there's not too much you can pick top.
Oh, but
And
they're
they
going to
decided-
go with a mouse.
Huh.
Oh, and a Akali from Learning.
Alright.
Something that we have seen, I believe, once or twice in BTL to great success. So, quite.
Synergy between the jungle though isn't amazing, I wouldn't say.
I mean, how do you really
Um,
synergize with Brand Jungle?
You just want to fight. You just want to delay them and fight. Go like Silas, you can go Cassiopeia, you can go Lissandra, Veigar. I mean, not really Veigar. I don't know, Irelia.
But the classic Silas
plays any of
Akali
those, but-
matchup here, but like, so do we like Akali into Maokai, Kaisa, Nautilus?
I'm really not sure. Like, it's not the worst. Like, it'll kill Akali, and it'll probably kill Nautilus too, but I don't know if it's the best pick either.
It is a flex pick, but I'm not sure that Swagasm plays. it.
Oh!
I know the Ring does.
There is the
And if
Briar.
Maokai top, that is a solo AD Briar. Well, I guess it's Kaisa ADC as well, but it's kind of mixed damage. So Briar's really the only full AD champ here. If that's a guaranteed brand jungle, this might be an issue actually for Spectre. We'll see if they can flex it.
I don't think they can. I don't think Swagasm is the player to pull out the Akali top. But Briar. I believe we were talking about
Oh.
this
The Trundle being picked actually
for the Maokai. That's not
into
a
the
bad
Maokai.
backup.
That should be a pretty good pick.
Yeah, but we were
Should
talking
be able
about
to
the
win that
Briar
lane.
before the games got started. So how are you feeling
Yeah.
about it, Vaporto? Like what are your thoughts
I
on
mean,
that
he
champion?
hasn't played it recently. From what I saw, he was just abusing it when nobody knew how to play against it, and the stats were a little OP. But I mean, if he's picking it here, he obviously has some confidence. They are up 2-0, but I mean, it is pretty free into brand. I'll admit that. I'm not entirely sure how it shouldn't be good into Rel, but they don't really have an insane amount of CC. And it's all skill shots really, so it shouldn't be that bad for Briar this game.
Something we saw in the last semifinals, I think it was OP Killswitch, who brought out the Trundle, and even though that OP Kill Switch's team. I forgot who was that. Was that for Spectre or for Elysium Terra? Not sure, but whatever team that was,
Elysium
OP Kill
Terra.
Switch. Yeah, so they were very far behind, but they still won with the Trundle's OP split pushing power.
Yeah. He
So, I
definitely has the
mean,
advantage on Maokai here. The
that's
split.
always an option for Spectre Gaming, and there's not a whole lot of range to like deal with that or wave clear.
They do have the split power, I think. I'm not entirely sure the Akali size matchup. It's probably more skill than anything. But Spectre should have the advantage in the side lanes if they can play a 1-3-1 style and not die mid. It should be good.
The one thing
We'll
that
have
I'm
to see.
like, I'm kind of looking at this draft as Elysium Terra kind of had their whole idea planned out and they executed it throughout the draft. Spectre Gaming first picked or R1 R2 brand Ezreal and then ended it with the Kali Trundle. Like it feels like they kind of changed their mind in terms of how they wanted to play the game, but maybe the rel applies enough structure to their team fight where Trundle can actually split push effectively.
There's
guess
the,
it's-
I mean, like, it really depends on how ahead Trundle gets here, right? And against a Maokai, he should be able to get ahead. Whether or not he actually does it, though, comes down to execution. But, yeah, I mean, he has a massive advantage in this lane.
Yeah, but so one thing that you have to think about for that top lane matchup, if that is 100% a Trundle top lane, is that Trundle's sustain comes from hitting the champions, and Maokai, one of the benefits of Maokai is his Q is on a very low cooldown, and he doesn't necessarily have to have those long extended trades.
Yeah, it's kind of up to Trundle to have a good pillar, to be honest, in this lane. But if he can get a good pillar, I mean, the fight should be net positive for him almost every time after the first back.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially after Trundle gets Hullbreaker though, like Hullbreaker is especially effective against AP champions just because
Yeah, I really want to see him go Bork as well.
your resistances, yeah.
Maybe just Bork Hullbreaker, just don't go a Mythic, to be honest. It's probably worth it this game.
So like the most
I'm not sure
common
if he'll do
build
it,
you'll see from Trundle is I think it's the Triforce Ravenous Hydra into the Hullbreaker. Sometimes I like to rush the Hullbreaker into an AP matchup just because it's so oppressive. I'm curious to see if Trundle goes either of those two build paths or like how you said, even a Bork angle, which might be a decent option into the triple front line of Elysium Terra.
I really think he has to be able to do a lot here as the front line. He can potentially, pretty easily actually, 1v2 Briar Maokai if he gets a lead with the Bork build. I don't think he can do it with Sunder, and I think he kind of has to have Bork to 1v9 lane here at least. But maybe that's not what they're playing for. They might just be playing for brand damage, in which case he could just go a more tanky build. We'll have to see though. Very interesting team comps coming in here for game 3.
That is true. But any final remarks from you, Tygoo, before we send it off to a break?
I'm just paying attention to the structure of Spectre Gaming's team fight, and if they seem to find a solid ground, then I expect them to maybe out damage Elysium Terra. But other than that, I'm just excited to see what happens in this game 3.
All right. Well, we're going to send it off to a break while we load into the Rift for game number 3 between Elysium Terra and Spectre Gaming. Will we see the start of a reverse sweep, or will Elysium Terra squash the hopes of Spectre Gaming for the finals? But we'll be back in just 3 minutes.
I wonder what went wrong today. Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between
right, everybody, here we are loaded into the rift for game number 3 between Elysium Terra and Spectre Gaming. Tygoo and Vaporto, are you guys ready?
Oh yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, 11, 12, 13.
Yep. Halo Blades coming in here for Briar. Maybe a little bit of an early game situation. Nautilus doesn't have items. Try to get a recall there, but they want to go for the maybe an invade fight.
Not doesn't need items.
If it works, we can all blame learning. He was late to the party. Nope, not anymore.
Yeah, very little feet in a little bit of an interesting spot. Doesn't have any escape tools because once you hit an ability, you're basically running it in.
Double Ghost here instead of Flash in the top side on Brand and Trundle. I'm kind of surprised that Vimstat opted for the Ghost here into a pretty heavy engage comp. But he might just feel comfortable sitting behind his front line the entire game and not actually getting in range.
With the amount that Alley-Oops has roamed throughout these, like, the last 2 games on the Alistar, and I forgot who they played last game, to be honest. Poppy, yeah, Poppy, which he also made a huge impact.
Another Hex Flash champion.
On the Nautilus, against a Brand with no Flash? I feel like that could cause...
There could be some very early invades here, for sure. Briar could technically take this game over if Nautilus wants to play for her, and Silas.
Yeah, and Brand is definitely not one of those champions that could just be like, oh, I can delay her. No, you're going to die almost instantly to that champion. But already an engage by Alley-Oops on a Paint Licker for some massive damage thanks to Siggy's ult, or passive.
Alley-Oops already making that impact at 2 minutes into the game. Has that nice sidestep as well against the Rel or Dr. Dad's W.
Another hook and a root on a Paint Licker. Paint Licker's going to get ignited and he's going to get dropped
Ignite.
so low the W doesn't connect, and that is going to be Paint Licker using both summoners to just
Not
stay
heal down
alive.
after the ignite, barely surviving there. Ooh, risking it all.
That is a huge loss of gold and
he's
XP.
only at 1 CS in this lane, bot lane. Wow. That is gonna hurt for sure. And they're looking for an early reset as well, trying to get an item advantage maybe, but just getting a pink ward.
Yeah, very interesting to reset there without, like, maybe potentially getting a Cole first back. But they only did have 5
Maybe the
farm.
HP values were a little off. I'm not entirely sure. But now they're coming back to lane. The wave should be actually just... Well, it depends. I can't really see it, but I'm assuming it's pushing back to them if this roll has been hitting it. But it's also been staying there for quite a while, so they could have a freeze on themselves, and it looks like they do. So I don't think they should have backed there, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's pretty
Let's look
big.
at this Brand lane gank.
Oh, yeah, Brand is here in the lane. OP Ivy stepping up a little bit far.
Trundle doesn't really have any CC, but he needs to pillar here against the wall if he can.
Oh, he doesn't get the pillar off, but right there, it doesn't actually connect onto OP Ivy, so it's not going to be too much, and that's going to be OP Ivy just walking away. But now Frey Little Feet is up here, has the level advantage, has both his buffs over Swagasm and Vimstat. Let's see if Frey Little Feet can do
Don't really have
some
any
more.
CC either to stop this other than the Brand Q.
Yeah, and they're stepping up, trying to get down some poke.
Oh, this passive being applied though, getting some good damage. He still doesn't win this. This is very... He should be backing
It
in the
felt
bush.
like really risky there for Vimstat to step up and reveal himself.
Maybe trying to bait something. Maybe trying to bait some time out of Briar there, but getting the back off, getting the Dark Seal into his first AP item.
Oh, a flash forward by Siggy, but the W is not going to connect, and now Siggy's going so deep for this kill. And the first blood for Paint Licker. That's a dock off the paycheck.
Oh no,
Siggy, man, the first game. First game in.
Sometimes the old trapper hot and spicy beef jerky, man, it comes out the wrong way, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's just
It's hot and spicy, so sometimes it hits you wrong.
And that is the first blood for
I want Alliups
Spectre
to hold
gaming.
this, yes. If Alliups holds this, they actually might be able to keep an advantage here.
Yeah, we just saw Alley-Oops flash there to try to get the kill on Paint Liquor, by the way.
And Vimstat on Dragon here. The camera hasn't panned over
Oh,
yet, but...
Swagasm, you made a mistake, brother. And that's going to be OP
the
Ivy picking up the
minions.
solo kill in the top side.
Minions last hitting him there. Didn't pop Ghost. Didn't think he was in enough trouble. And just dies barely to the wave. Come back with the Sheen. Looks like he's opting for the Sunderer route. Hopefully that'll be enough damage and enough stats to carry them.
I'm still expecting the Triforce just because of how standard
or
it is.
Triforce, yeah.
But the Sunder doesn't not make sense with how much frontline that Elysium Terra has. But some trading coming on in the mid lane.
Yeah, Learning, Arzui's taking Learning's ultimate while Frey Little Feet is looking on
Oh,
top of
Dr.
Dr. Dad. So let's see if Frey Little Feet is in a little bit too deep. He doesn't have any escape tools, and
They're
here comes
delaying here.
Trundle. Trundle has the pillar. That's going to be flash out of Frey
Ooh,
Little
an early
Feet.
flash. He's gonna W over this wall, but
Oh.
he has to fight him because
Yeah, and that's
he didn't
gonna
know
be
he
him
was actually
falling.
there.
And now let's see if they
If
can
you
get some
W
more.
and there's no one there, he doesn't actually chase anyone, but Trundle's sitting there, so he got baited. 10 CS advantage for this Kaisa so far. Gonna be about a 14 CS advantage after that.
Wait!
Oh,
There's
look in the
alley
box.
coming up from behind!
Holy crap,
What?
he's trying to get the Hex Flash over. He gets the root, he gets the stun. But let's see if Paint Liquor can get away, and he does. But Ignite going to get exposed, and that's going to be half of Paint Liquor's health down the drain.
Another Ignite for heal.
Alley-oops Hex Flash behind the tower to run.
Yeah, he's really showing you the Hex Flash situation here.
Yeah, and now they're
I
looking
love
for
it.
a
I love
dive.
to
The
see
hook
it.
does connect, and that's
Oh,
going to be
max
a
range
kill
hook.
here for Siggy, but Paint Liquor's going to fall, and now Siggy falls as well, so that's going to be a
Oh.
2-for-1 in favor of Paint Liquor.
I don't think that ends up being worth for ET there. Actually they're denying a decent wave here because this next wave does crash. If he misses cannon, it might end up being semi-worth.
Sorry, I'm not
But
there.
all in all, not terrible.
I had to turn on the AC.
Spectre.
It's too hot in here.
And that's the
No.
Akali ult coming down, so he has to go steal someone else's ult now.
Who got that kill? Kai'Sa got that kill, right? Yeah. So I would say Kai'Sa is
Ooh,
more of
Learning
the
in a
win
little bit of a
combo.
rough spot here, but Frey Little Feet looking to try to get a kill for himself. He doesn't hit the E, and the
Yes,
Frey Little
E.
Feet might just fall, but Zui's there to get the redemption kill. Oh, but Zui in a little bit of a bad situation. He's trying to turn another
up by
kill
the
for himself,
Rolar.
but he cannot get it, and that's
Oh.
going to be a kill for Paint
Oh.
Liquor. That is a fed Ezreal.
4 kills on Israel, yeah.
Oh, Swagasm.
I mean,
If this connects, Swagasm might be dead, and he
should
gets hit by
hit.
the little guy.
There's a sapling in the bush.
Yeah, this game
Swagasm
is
goes
all
down.
over the place now. Alley-Oop's in a little
Alley-Oop's
bit of
looking for a
danger.
hook on the tower,
Alley-Oop,
maybe.
yeah, he's not going to be able to get
But
it.
it
He's
hits
going to
the
get
rail.
blown up, and that's going to be another kill for Paint Liquor. Siggy's trying to get the kill on Vincent, and he
Oh.
does snipe it. And with
Barely
the
threads
ultimate, he's
it.
going to get out. But there comes the Briar ultimate. Here it comes, right onto Dr. Dad. Dr. Dad has
So
the
thick.
hourglass, and now Dr. Dad is going to... Oh, maybe not fall.
Oh, maybe the
Frey Little
Kaisa W
Feet.
coming
Look at
in
Frey
here.
Little Feet. He's just
He's
going.
just chasing him down. Nice. You gotta give Briar some early kills. That lethality champ has to come online early if you really want to take over the map here. And now they have the opportunity to put Nautilus up for Herald.
Yeah, this is a
Um,
messy game.
Yeah, it really is. And I think ET takes the advantage in these messy, fights.
I would
overall,
say that,
eventually.
but with how many kills that Paint Liquor has been able to pick up for himself, like, Ezreal can just control the game's 1v9.
He can if he does enough damage. That's really the
Oh,
question.
Dr. Dad walking right into Alley-Oops. Finally, somebody is matching this man's roams,
Oh.
and Dr. Dad is here to say no. No more to the roaming, no more to the plays being made.
No more free plays, but Brand is not at Herald. He will be able to get here, but
Oh,
Swagasm actually might be getting
in
caught
a little
out.
bit of a bad spot. The hook does connect. He's going to get thrown into a wall, and a kill picked up for Zui.
Went for that vision at the exact wrong time. Unfortunately, played on the enemy's turn. When his Brand was bot side, they couldn't move up for him. They would just die. And he unfortunately gets picked off for that. It looks like he is... Well, yeah, it looks like that is a Sunderer pickup, is it not?
No, Kindle Gem is for Triforce.
Kindle Gem is for
I think
both,
it's for both.
but he has
Oh,
double
actually,
longsword, which builds into Call Fields, which should be
Yeah.
Sunder picked up for the Trundle.
Or isn't it double longsword and dagger for?
Ah, god damn it,
Heartbound Axe?
dude, god damn
Yeah.
it. It's like, we still don't
Well,
know.
yeah,
we
we still don't know. It's kind of annoying, but all ultimates up for Spectre here, if they want to fight this dragon.
Yeah, they already got their first dragon, so this would be a great area to start stacking those drakes.
Ooh, South should have his first item here. That Everfrost coming in.
Seems like there's going
On
to be
this
numbers
dragon
for
play.
Elysium Terra, but the bot lane wave is going to be stacked up for the side of Spectre Gaming, so it's going to
If they
stall
move
Elysium
dragon
Terra
now, then Spectre has a chance for this dragon, and it looks like they're gonna take it. Silas has to catch that mid wave.
Yeah, Very Little Feet is here though. He
Oh,
does
and
have vision.
Looks like a fight's gonna happen. I'm surprised that he didn't hit, to be honest.
Yeah. Let's see what they do. Zooey has to get over there faster, at least hold Learning and Swagasm here. TP is
Trundle
up
is
for
here, but
OP
Maokai does
Ivy.
have TP, yeah.
TP's coming
down
in.
the tri
There,
push.
it's a little bit far away, but it gets stolen by Furry Little Feet because of the hook from Alley Oops. And now Dr. Dad is trying to get down some CC, but he's going to get rooted. He's going to get low, but the Briar ulti does
their ult
miss.
goes wide.
But Vimstat is low. He got hit by the Maokai ultimate, and he will fall. That's going to be a double kill for Siggy. Now Siggy looking to try to make his name in this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, no one
Devastation.
was standing in front of Brand there, so Kaisa just kind of gets the run at him for free, which is the only issue, again, with this Akali pick. It's a little anti-synergy with the Brand.
Hey, but
But
Paint
yeah.
Liquor lived. Paint Liquor lived, so he's still
Yeah,
fighting
Panther
money.
lived, but he wasn't really able to do as much damage as he wanted. He needs to get a little late game to get his DPS numbers up. They got that dragon, the Nautilus hook came in. I don't think Brand was even in range of Smite. I think they were trying to kind of give it. They realized it was a weird situation. A little bit too late maybe, but they did end up giving that, and ET is looking pretty
Oh,
good.
what a great look there for Zooey. Zooey's going to get down some damage, and that Learning's going back in. He does have the perfect execution up. Can he get down enough damage? It's not going to be enough, but he does pick it up with the Q.
Oh, the flash for the auto, the instant auto. After and with his passive, does enough damage.
Oh, but Frey Little Feet
Oh, the
flashing
fire flash.
forward.
Just picking up that little kill, just with a auto attack, basically turning on champions only with the W.
Learning with the perfect champion execution, but gets freaking gets.
It's 200 years. Right, games.
He died. He died afterwards, so that was bad. But at the same time,
I mean, great outplay. It was really not that in his advantage there, so that was a great play for what he had.
yeah,
And
even
he's
that
up
trade
30,
remains
almost
great.
30 CS here, actually. So Kali might be the X factor. Oh,
Oh, great hook there on the Dr. Dad. Interrupts it with the Nautilus ulti to CC Paint Liquor, but Paint Liquor's getting down so much damage. Siggy picks up one,
HP.
but I think he's going to fall. He cannot
be a
get
double,
away.
though.
A nice flash away, but a flash forward by Paint Liquor does pick up a huge shutdown there for the Ezreal, while Swagasm gets engaged on by OP Ivy and
Briar's
Zooey.
almost there.
He does have the Ghost. He has the move speed, and now here comes Furry Little Feet on the Paint Liquor in the bot side, and this is going to be a huge shutdown for the Briar.
not much an ADC can do there at that low HP versus a Briar without any support to help him.
Oh, but here the Brand ulti
Oh,
doesn't
see,
actually
Brand.
bounce, but that should be enough
Oh, he's
damage.
not close
Oh,
enough,
the
yeah.
healing is disgusting. Now the Bright ulti goes out, and Vimstat is in a little bit of trouble, but the burn picks it up.
Oh, Briar's actually.
Oh, the bleed! The bleed! I
Put it into
forgot.
Brand,
I forgot she has
but,
a bleed. I forgot she has
yeah.
a bleed. I was like, why is he
Yeah,
losing
her
health?
passive bleed. Oh man, just barely enough. It was about to wear off. That was like the last tick basically to
Yeah.
kill him there. I'm kind of surprised he died.
Zooey looking for something
Um,
onto Swagasm, but Learning is here now, so Zooey might have overstayed a little bit too far. He's going to flash over the wall and get the Blast Cone over, but Learning had the E to follow,
kill.
and that's going to be a kill picked up, and OP Ivy could be dove here. It is a 4v1. Nautilus is on the way, but I don't know if not is going to be enough. It's just a support. Dr. Dad taking some shots and loses
Did it have
about
enough
half his
damage?
health.
Oh,
Briar is on her way up. She's trying to get here fast while Alley Oops and OP Ivy buy time.
They still have the Trundle, but he doesn't have ultimate here, so this dive doesn't really look that viable. I hope they get out. And it looks like they're taking that route.
Don't want to spend too much time. Learning does need to stay up on the CS lead.
Oh, Brand
the
behind
XP lead.
Siggy here, but it's in a TP coming in to help him out. He needs to hit this Q if he doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
Oh,
He doesn't
Oh,
hit
but
the
the W
Q, but
misses. He
Swagasm
should be
is
fine.
here. Siggy is on the run right now. She's on the wrong side of the
Has to
map,
be
and that's going
careful
to be
with the
Siggy
Kaisar
falling.
here.
Now Zooey going in, but he might be in a little bit too deep. He's going to take so much
Oh,
damage
Brand
here by
passed
the
him
Brand,
on.
so he will fall to Paint Licker's ultimate, and now OP Ivy picks up a kill under the Brand, but he's going to get chased. He's going to get corralled, and he is going to fall more than likely to Learning here with that E.
Spectre Gaming getting a crazy good fight there. Only dropping 1 for 3 kills. I hope they're coming back in the game. It would be very nice to see. The Leandri's purchase already on Brand. He's doing some nice percentage P damage. The Sunderer finally being purchased by Trundle. Really just wants to fight that Maokai in the side lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad against Silas. It's not going to really do anything against the Briar, because Briar's gone lethality. However, Trundle is already pretty good into Briar naturally, just because of what Trundle likes to do, and he likes to just sit there and whap people, and Very Little Feet doesn't have a choice but to get whapped.
Yeah, I still think the Bork would have been a little more useful this game, but Sunder is not bad. I would like for him to opt into the Bork still. We'll see if he chooses a more tanky route though. And they're on Herald here.
We do have Hex Soul.
Dragon for Herald.
Yeah, Hex Soul is the soul. A pretty decent soul here for Spectre Gaming if they're able to pick it up. But they won't be able to fight for soul point until 26 minutes, assuming they get the third Drake.
And anti-heal now being purchased from Brand. He knows his passive will proc on everyone, getting that anti-heal being as effective as possible. This
Ooh,
Silas
Zooey.
still has a Collier.
Zooey in a little bit of a rough spot, but he's going to use the Kali R to get over from Learning, but Learning has the E on him, so he has to hold the ulti. Now he's going to use it. Now here comes the two-shot barrage. It does connect, and that's going to be Zooey drop down to 100 HP.
Oh, a pillar might be able to take Trundle out here if he has one. Doesn't look like it.
I don't know what they're really fighting over right now. I'm not going to lie. There's no dragon, but Swagasm going to get tagged by the ultimate. A flash forward by Alley-Oop, and now Siggy going in deep with his ultimate. That's going to be a kill picked up by Very Little Feet. Now Very Little Feet doesn't have any more W for the chase. That's just going to be one kill, but a lot of stuff blown for it.
Dying in that CC animation. Trundle not able to get that R off. He's very squishy without it, and it just blows up into that Nautilus combo.
A bit of a weird fight, like you guys said, not too much for them to fight for, but
yeah, no objectives on the map really, but they still want to dance, it seems.
They're here for blood. That's what it's all about. He's almost 2 kills a minute.
They are playing very fight-heavy champions that want to just ego check each other, so
I can already hear the calls. Buy anti-heal, ban it! Buy anti-heal! Vimstat instantly buys that Oblivion Orb. Swagasm instantly buys that Executioner's Calling. I'm not entirely sure if that's okay. I mean, it's okay into Maokai, but it is going to delay his Hold Breaker a bit. This
1-3-1 coming down here. This shouldn't be bad for Spectre Gaming. This should actually be what they want to do if Trundle is able to actually apply pressure right now.
Now we have Learning going in on, or Zooey going in onto Learning. And it looks like we're going to pan away from that fight, so we're not going to be able to actually see the fruition of it.
Thank you for letting us show the pink ward going down. And that's a Zanya's. No, Stopwatch coming in from the Silas. Actually on both of their sides, I believe. Stopwatch coming through. Oh, Briar tried to W over the wall there, I believe.
Yeah, on the Vimstat, but Vimstat was just slightly out of range.
Not actually sure if that would have played out that well for her, but she went for it nonetheless. And Baron here is coming up in less than a minute. They're looking for resets to get that vision, to get that objective control, and hopefully close out this game before the Briar falls off.
one thing to look at is Briar does have that Herald up. to maybe pressure a lane while trying to get vision, maybe top side to pressure Herald now that it is up in the next 10
Yeah, the
seconds.
Herald should be up for about 45 more seconds or so, so she does have the time to pressure with Baron. It looks like she might be trying to Herald here bot lane at the last second, and then recall for Baron, or something of the sort. Maybe just shadowing Silas here in the side lane for an easy pick.
Yeah, Swag has him down a level, but still looking to fight OP Ivy here.
Herald going down bot, they're moving 3 people down towards it, and Baron or Trundle might be actually getting a fight here.
Yeah, now Zooey getting engaged on here, but he's going to fall straight to Vimstap. But Swag has him in a little bit of trouble. The Briar ulti goes down.
Water ult from downtown.
And that's going to be a kill for Furry Little Feet and a killing spree to keep him on this board. 7-3-2 on Briar. He's definitely no novice when it comes to this champion.
Yep, now that's a 1-for-1, but they do have the Baron advantage, and Dragon is not up for them to retaliate at all.
Yeah, but
They
Learning
have to
has
walk all the way
teleport.
across the map. Learning should be looking for a TP
Yeah,
here right behind that Baron.
It's
Or
her
in that
TP's going to come
pixel,
in
it
right
looks like.
now. They're just
Also
trying to push him
barely
away.
hitting. They might be able to. He has an E back into that shroud, and he'll take it. They'll take just delaying them from Baron, and they'll get vision back on that Dragon side, and say, "We'll take the objective, please. Thank you." Looks like Trundle's opting for Fawn here into
Yeah,
the double AP.
Not really focused on the split push, which is
Solo
fine,
lane.
especially with the Maokai. Like, he can get pretty tanky, so him team fighting is perfectly fine.
Can be tanky. I'm still worried about their damage onto the front line here, but hopefully this Brand is able to get some free damage in these fights and gets his passive moving around, so that Ezreal can last hit a lot of these kills.
Yeah, they are bush camping. They're looking for the Ezreal. Alley-oops is stepping forward, but they are not going to be able to
Something
spot
brought
him.
up in chat here. Looking at the CS numbers this game, mid lane down about 50, a little bit over 50. Siggy up it's about over 80 CS over Paint Liquor.
Yeah.
Oh, Siggy going to go deep, though, onto Learning, but Learning's going to pop the Hourglass, but Learning got
Oh,
rooted by the
Bart's actually
Maokai, and that's going to be a
hitting
double
Brand.
kill for Elysium Terra picked up, but they are going to lose their support. This should open up an opportunity.
Unfortunately, that Zanya's actually hurt them more than it helped.
Yeah, this should open up an
With the
opportunity
Barrel.
for a potential Baron start. Jungler is down.
Should be pretty free.
Zooey has teleport.
Although they might just want to pressure the side lane and then get this mid pushed as well.
Yeah, but how fast is Silas really pushing, right? Like,
Well, they have to walk them if they don't want to just give a free tower, so they can really play the map after they see Trundle there. Now they can choose to do something.
yeah,
Let's see what they
Zooey
choose
in a
to
little bit of a
do.
rough spot. Zygazm has the anti-heal, so Zooey cannot heal like he can. And that's going to be the Silas falling to Swagasm.
Oh.
It started.
And they were not doing anything on the map actually, so I stand corrected. I think it was just a little bit of miscommunication on what they wanted to do at the time. Unfortunately, they wasted about 40 seconds, and all of us, Spectre Gaming is up now.
Yeah, this is definitely the
But they
closest
should still have the advantage in the fights.
This is definitely the closest game of the series, for sure. Both teams are actually putting up quite a decent fight here.
Though Spectre does have that Trundle split push advantage, Elysium Terra might be the best team that I have seen all of this season at keeping up on the objectives and keeping that pressure on the map as a group of 5. So I'm curious to see if Spectre Gaming can actually keep up with that pressure while keeping Swagasm on the opposite side of the map trying to get those objectives.
Yeah, and we want to see this Trundle be a little more dominant than he's shown so far this game. Hopefully he can turn it around after the second item, which I'm not entirely
I think
sure
that's a
on
whole
mine,
breaker.
but-
That's a whole breaker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does go into that too.
But I'm curious.
I
Oh,
don't know
no.
at all.
Oh, yeah, I guess Moonplate goes into Whole Breaker now, by the
Yeah,
way.
it does. It's so big. It's 5%.
Yeah, now
It's
Ali
good
Oop's
too. Oh,
going to get caught out just a little bit, so he's going to take some massive damage, and he's going to fall to Paint Liquor while Furry Little Feet and OP Ivy look onto Learning, but Learning has the Shroud to stay away. Yeah,
Has ultimate.
Learning used that Shroud beautifully to stay away
Should be
from
a
Furry
good
Little
fight.
Feet, but now OP Ivy might just fall. He's going to drop the ultimate and use the W to dodge some damage, but he doesn't not tanky enough. and that's going to be a 2 for none, and Baron advantage here for Spectre Gaming.
And Swagasm is having no issues against Silas right now. Just out heals him with his passive alone and auto attacks, and this could be a free Baron.
Oh, but Pain Liquor is low. If Very Little Feet can find him with the
Well, they
ultimate.
have no tanks. Dr. Dad was
Ultimate's
was
going
not
out.
there,
It does connect onto Vimsats. That's going to be a double fear, and Vimsats going to fall. Massive damage. Now Learning's in trouble. Flash forward by Very Little Feet. Very Little Feet is 1v4ing. He's going absolutely insane, but does he have enough? He gets it. He's going to get 3. He's going to get 4.
No CC. You can't stop him.
Someone clip that. Someone clip that right now.
Oh my god!
man.
He just gets the 1v4 while Siggy gets pressure on the mid lane, doesn't quite get the
Kill
hit
him.
in.
Yeah, now
Briar
Swagasm
is a
chasing
60%
Siggy down.
win rate
Siggy's
or
going to pop the
whatever.
ghost. He's going to pop the flash, and Swagasm's just going to have to turn around while Baron is started up, and this should be the Baron for Elysium Terra. And honestly, guys, I was going to say that Alley Oops as a strong contender for MVP, but after what I just witnessed there, Very Little Feet, regardless of what team wins, is looking like the most valuable player in the game.
Yeah, he's just getting all these kills. He's just at every single fight. He's just in the grind all the time. Looking good. Showing that
It's just
Briar is competitive.
Alley Oops is always making the plays. You're watching Alley Oops, like where's Alley Oops going? But who is always there? It's Furry Little Feet, and Furry Little Feet up yet again, 12 and 3 on the Briar, 1v4ing. Ah,
Crazy plays, crazy plays.
Yeah, and that is a huge
Oh,
tempo
and
swing
pick,
for them
maybe.
as well. But they're going to get this pick onto Dr. Dad right before the Dragon, and the Soul, honestly, is Spectre Gaming's only hope at this point. Being down 5,000, they're going to have to rely on Swagasm
It
split
looks like
push.
they might have to give this one.
Yeah,
And
Swagasm.
hopefully can survive 6 more minutes.
Yeah, Swagasm has started. He got 1 tower, but they're going to lose the inhibitor and the Dragon, so no Soul here for
Maybe they
Spectre
look for a
Gaming.
fight here. Furry Little Feet's on Dragon. I don't know if they know, though. And he does still have ultimate, so it's pretty risky still, I suppose. Trundle not really able to get anything on the split, just pushing in the wave. And just some time being wasted. And the soul point being contested there.
I love Siggy.
Well, Briar might be getting caught out here by himself. Only has the Maokai and no teleports, really.
Yeah, now Very Little Feet in a little bit of a dangerous spot. He already used the E, so he's not going to be able to cancel this W, and he's just going to fall to the Ezreal. That's a pretty big shutdown to give.
That was
Siggy would've
crazy
never done
damage to the
that.
Trundle still. I mean, that was through Trundle ult as well, that damage. So that's pretty nice. I guess that's the LDR gap.
Trundle has
Now,
finally completed
Hullbreaker.
Hullbreaker, yeah, but it just feels so late into the game to get that item.
Yeah, 28 minutes. The Briar's already completed 3 items. It's going to be hard to get that pressure back on the map now.
Siggy got that ward, holy crap!
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, some slow plays coming in. They're really just waiting for Briar to be up at this point so they can hopefully, I'm assuming they'll try to move topside, get this last outer turret, and then maybe 4-1 or so with Silas bot.
Yeah,
And then they could
Briar,
potentially look for a dive.
Briar ultimate
Oh, Briar
going out.
R.
Yeah, he's trying
Maybe
to
just trying to catch someone out on blue randomly.
yeah, but it's not
Just
gonna
trying to look for a pick.
yeah, it's not gonna connect quite yet. But he does have the teleport. He's gonna teleport over, so Vincent's gonna have to step away from this blue. But Siggy's looking forward with the ultimate, but he gets stunned up.
Oh.
Oh, a TP coming in the backside though. Here comes Swagasm. He's gonna TP in. He's right on top of Very Little Feet. Very Little Feet's gonna get
Briar.
dropped super low, but he's not gonna be able to complete the kill. So Siggy's gonna stay alive with Very Little Feet. Now Zooey going in deep with a Kali ultimate of his own, but he's not gonna be able to connect anything quite yet. The hook doesn't hit Learning. Now Dr. Dad is in a very suspicious position. It's a little bit in, it's a little bit troll, and he's gonna fall. And that's gonna be 2 for none in favor of Elysium Terra, and this could be a second inhibitor, potentially some Nexus towers.
Yeah, both their front lines are gone now. They really don't have anything holding them back from taking this inhib. They don't have top tower push, but they don't really care. They might be able to get 1, maybe 2 Nexus turrets here, but we'll see what they opt for.
Yeah, they are attempting to do a decent push here. Let's see if they can defend, though.
Oh,
That's
look
some
for the
massive
fight, maybe.
damage there. Fimstat's getting some good ultimate triggers off with his own thing. Now Learning ends deep, trying to buy time, but he's going to fall to Siggy. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Now here comes Fimstat. Fimstat falls to Frame Little Feet. Let's see if Swagasm and Paintler can do it with Dr. Dad. Siggy's going in deep. He gets exhausted with alley-oops getting dropped so low, but Siggy is untouched. He is unhurt. He's trying to get down some massive damage on the Paintlicker, but Paintlicker is going to get dropped down to 1 and survive with the heal and the fountain, and that should be them walking out.
Alley-oops absolutely outplaying them by misclicking on the portal twice and then hooking the wall.
Yeah. He's
Just
really giving them
the
any
absolute
chance they can,
BM.
but it doesn't even matter. They still won the fight. And now they'll just back. They have 2 inhibs down. They should just try to get this last lane pushing and just
Yeah.
pressure them into a victory.
Yeah, especially right before the Baron. At this point, honestly, I would say trade the Baron for the soul. Give them the soul if that's what you want, because Baron is how you end this game.
Yeah, it is a Hextech soul, but yeah, I agree. I don't think it's really enough at this point for Spectre to really come back unless they get pretty lucky and ET makes a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to play off the misplays here, and that's definitely not where you want to be when this is match or series point. Now Siggy looking, he does connect onto Learning. Learning doesn't have the Shroud. They're not even going for the objectives. They're just walking down mid. And bot.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like
Baron, I
Spectre
mean,
Gaming
still
is-
under a minute.
Spectre
almost
Gaming is
Baron and Dragon.
prioritizing the Baron with all of that vision in that top side, so they're not even looking at that dragon right
I mean, it's
now.
definitely smart. They definitely have to deny this Baron.
Yeah, it's not soul, so they don't really.
Yeah, but
care too much.
Swagasm
Oh,
just
and a
not
pick.
in the right space, and that's a
Oh.
huge pick, and that could be a game-ending death right there, a game-ending mistake. Vimstap
Not
stepping
only a
forward.
game-ending mistake, but a season-ending mistake.
Well, yeah, no matter what. It's finals, bro. It's the
And they're looking for this dragon instead of
finals.
pushing their lead with the 5v4, just making sure there's no way they can get the soul. Probably gonna look for Baron here right after as well. Just slowly pushing Spectre Gaming out of this game.
Yeah, they're just positioning right over to this Baron. I don't think has to be their last stand. Spectre Gaming has
All
to
he
try
really needs
something.
is death cap. Oh, it doesn't have it on that back.
Yeah, they have to honestly try there. I don't feel like they can give this. If this Baron is taken, I feel like it's just game.
They need a good brand fight. I do agree.
Dr. Dad looking, or Furry Little Feet looking on to
Oh,
Dr. Dad. He's
he
gonna
actually
get
used
a
his
W.
E first, so he has to keep going.
Yeah, he's gonna
It's actually
go.
a really
But
bad spot if there was anyone there.
yeah, Bimstat chasing with the Ghost. Can he get the stun down? It doesn't get it though. Furry Little Feet had flash, and that's gonna be the Baron secured.
Oh, and Baron just taken by 2 champions.
Yeah, I mean that
Okay,
is
Kai'Sa.
basically a full build Kai'Sa there.
It
minus
is
one
against his
item.
Kai'Sa. Fair enough. Opting for the kind of AP on hit build.
Yeah, Dr. Dad.
Leaving Briar to be the only AD.
Yeah, they need Paint Liquor. They need to buy Paint Liquor time to get down some poke. Like they need Brand and Paint Liquor to do a lot of damage here before the fight actually breaks out. I don't know if they have enough to win a straight fair fight. Another inhibitor will fall, so they have 2 inhibitors. Now Zooey
Spectre
looking
kinda-
forward. He has the Rel ultimate. A flash forward by alley oops
Oh,
for the
flash.
hook onto Brand. That's a huge target
Big
there.
Nobulasar.
Opiavi has the Maokai ult with the Briar ult going in. It only hits Swagasm though, but Swagasm will fall.
Doesn't even
Zooey
matter.
is trying
He's
to do
still
so
gonna
much
get
in the
one
back
shot.
line. Zooey, it's just down to you. Can you 1v5? Can you pick up one? You cannot, and that is going to be the ace for none in favor of Elysium Terra, and that is going to be the match. That's going to be the BTL Finals, and that's going to be Elysium Terra taking it all.
Wow. What a game.
BTL Season 15 Champions Elysium Terra!
All right,
Let's
all right.
go!
There's a lot to go over, but who is the MVP? I personally have already told you I feel like it has to go to Free Little Feet, but what about you two?
Dude, it's so hard to choose. Like even Zooey, like with the pressure from mid lane, like just the solid foundation that Zooey was able to provide for Elysium Terra. I would, though Furry Little Feet was always there getting the kills. Like I was, alley oops was just starting. Like
Alley Oops was the reason that everything was happening throughout all 3 fights. So, in my opinion, I would give it to Alley Oops.
Okay.
Vapato, you are
You're the
the
decision maker.
Uh,
final
You're the
vote.
decision maker. Is it going to be the jungle or is it going to be the support?
you know, they both played it well, but I feel like, man, I don't know. Alley-oops was there consistently macro-wise at every single play, which I'm not sure who's calling for that, but whoever it is, good job. Um, but yeah, I mean, the kills are all going to Furry Little Feet, so I'm gonna give it to him.
Very little feet or alley
Yep,
oops? Okay. All right,
Furry
we're
Little
gonna
Feet.
pull Furry Little Feet in here. I gotta just figure out which one is he in Discord. I'm pretty sure somebody in the BTL chat knows, because there's no one named Furry Little Feet in there.
I think it's one of them.
Yeah, it's just one of them.
Nazer or Sussurrect?
Is it
Something.
Susurration?
Is it Sus or Nay?
I think Susurration Zui. Is he not? Sus?
Sus. They're
Okay, it's
saying
Sus.
Sus.
All right, all right. We're gonna pull Sus in here. Hello, hello. It's the man, it's the myth, it's the legend, the 1v4 king, the pentakill taker, and the pentakill receiver. We have Furry Little Feet as our MVP for the finals. Congratulations on your victory for the BTL finals. How are you guys feeling?
We're feeling pretty great. I felt pretty sad whenever I took Series Penta. He was our first Penta of the season, and he would have been the last, but you know, only one of us can get Pentas in playoffs. And that's just how it is.
Yeah, a little bit of a yoink yoink there. Well, first thing I want to talk to you about that 1v4 at Baron. Absolutely disgusting. What was going through your mind, and how exactly were you able to pull that off?
Well, their draft only has the one frontliner outside of Trundle, the Rel, and so whenever the Rel was just like running around the jungle, like playing hopscotch with me, I kind of knew that they must be getting low. And with the Baron, whenever it reduces whichever person is tanking, it takes less damage from that person. So I knew they probably were doing it pretty slow. And then, so I just decided, you know what, I'll peek in. We were pushing mid, so the comms were just, see if you can do anything. So I walk in there, and then all of a sudden I see them all like at like 25% HP, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess they're all dead.
All right, all
So-
right. All right, Tygoon, do you have any questions?
Yeah, so I haven't been paying attention like for the first half of the season, so I'm kind of just curious as to like what your mind was, like what was the journey like through the beginning of the regular season, end of the regular season, and kind of like these semifinals and the finals. Like what was kind of like your mind throughout?
Yeah, our roster was like a little scuffed. We like kept having to swap people out, and like not because like we didn't play well with anybody, but it was just because of like scheduling stuff got like really rocky. It was just like pretty bad timing, I guess, in the winter with like people going to school and having finals. People like I started a new job, so it was just like really a little bit wacky. So we kind of played like roster roulette throughout a lot of the regular season. Um, but honestly, I was like, it like sounds a little toxic, but I was pretty sure that we were gonna win this game because, in my opinion, Maria's Dungeon is like the real, like, second seed, and we're the obviously the first seed because we won. But like Maria's Dungeon, whenever we find those guys, like if we beat those guys, we like win finals guaranteed because playing against those guys is just so difficult because you never know where any of them are gonna go, and Nukes is just like always gonna be powerful no matter what position or what champion he plays.
You
All
guys remember what the regular season like? What were the records of number 1 and 2? Because I
They were
remember.
tied. They were tied. It's just so the only reason why Elysium Terra fell in second seed versus Dynasty Sapphire is because Dynasty Sapphire beat Elysium Terra. I was personally hoping for the rematch between you two because you guys lost, I believe, 5 bans in total in those 2 games you played.
Yeah, we lost 5 bans. I was filled. We played with a support that nobody on the team had ever played with before. Like we've played with him in like norms or like seen him around, but we never like actually played like a competitive match with them. And then we had a jungler who's subbing for us, and he plays like a complete opposite style. He likes to like scale up and play for team, whereas, I'm kind of the
Yeah,
flyer,
yeah, the
pick
carry, the
taker kind
carry,
of vibe.
yeah, the carry player. Vaprito, do you have any questions as the fellow jungler in this call?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering who's shot calling in the comms, really, for these
It's
objective
like a
plays.
it's like a pretty even split, I would say. We also we've been playing, like me and OP Up Ivy. We've been playing. We played on another team in. Um, he subbed a little bit for us in style, but then in BTL Diamond, we played on the teams together. So him and me kind of have like a similar mind on like what we're doing, and then Zui and me have like played like a lot together in like duo queue, and then also just playing through BTL and scrims and stuff. So um, we kind of also have like a pretty solid like grasp. So it's kind of just like us three. Alley-oops is the one who calls all the um, crazy like hex flashing over Raptor Pit to like
Okay,
gank
okay.
mid at level 3.
That's
Like
his. Okay, okay.
that's all alley-oops.
Average helicopter viewer.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us are kind of like we're just it's like a group effort of whatever we think sounds the best. That's like the idea we go with. Pretty
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Okay, well, it looks very clean, so however you're doing it, it's working. So good job.
All right. I got personally one more question. I don't know about the other guys, but was there anything that Spectre Gaming? I know you guys. It was quite a stomp. You guys 3-0'd them, which I was really hoping for like maybe 4 games, hopefully 5, because it is finals. But was there anything that they did that surprised you, that kind of caught you guys off guard, that you want to like say that they did pretty well, like they praised you, that you would praise them for?
That I would praise them for. They did do a good. I feel like their game 2 draft felt like actually pretty hard to play. I think they just mixed well. I think they misexecuted a few times. The Yasuo definitely kind of threw us for a loop. We weren't really sure where it was going. It ended up being like pretty oppressive in the bottom lane. I think that they ended up drafting like way too little damage. Like they have really no consistent DPS. The Syndra and Yasuo
Yeah.
are both kind of playing like almost like a burst assassin type vibe. So it felt like it would just get harder and harder, especially when they let the Mordekaiser through with like the Yumi. I don't know, just in Tom Kinch, like nobody can save you from Mordar. So
Yeah.
it felt like the draft started out really strong for them. So the drafting was good. I watched their game against Dynasty Sapphire as like my quote unquote warm up. Like that's just what I did to kind of get a vibe of like how they want to play. And I noticed they do a lot of like death ball style stuff at the end of the game, just run around as 5. And I think like especially in game 3, some of their plays just really caught us off guard. So they did a good job of like punishing us for not having perfect information or for getting a little too lazy or greedy in our setups. So they definitely did a good job of punishing that.
All right. Well, is there any other questions for Tygoo or Vaprato?
Not so
No, I
much
think we're
questions,
covered
just congratulations on being the BTL Season 15 champions. Good freaking job. You guys are actually very cleaner than you see a lot of other amateur teams. So well played, and I hope you can relax and enjoy.
All right. Well, congratulations, Very Little Feat, and congratulations, Elysium Terra. And thank you, Tygoon and Vaprato, for joining me on this final stream. And thank you to all those BTL
Can I do
fans
some-
out
can I
there.
do some shout-outs real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, shout out EOY Naysayer, owner of the org, Pognuts individual all around. Does a lot of great stuff for us. He's the fine man who made all of this happen. Our success would be nothing without him. I also like to shout out Alley-oops for being the god tier mid lane ganker, absolutely making the difference there in a lot of these plays. Siggy and Idris were both our ADCs. They're both really awesome. Had the pleasure of playing with 3 teams now with Idris, and he is cracked at Fortnite, as the kids say. And Opie Ivy in the top lane, what a beast. He's always willing to play the Maokai go on dog duty. He puts on the leash so I don't have to, so bad respect to that guy. And then
Respect.
finally, Zui, bow to the king. My guy gave his Penta for me so I could have the only Penta in finals. So Matt appreciates that guy. He was a real good sport about it as well. So the team's just awesome and all around. They're going to be a weapon on whatever roster they get on next.
All right. Well, I guess I do have one more question. I kind of forgot about it. But do you guys think you're coming back to BTL to run the gauntlet again whenever the next season starts? Or do you guys have bigger, higher ELO tournaments that you have your eyes set on?
For me, I'm taking a break. I'm gonna get into coaching here. I've got Elysium little Elysium roster cooking up. That's gonna be played in Risen, so we're really excited to see those guys go crazy. I'm not,
esports.
Yep, I'm not sure what everyone else's plans are. So the Elysium Terra that I'm sure everyone's come to know and love probably will not be competing in its entirety, but maybe other players have some plans to compete later on.
All right, all right. Well, once again, thank you and congratulations on your win, and thank you to all those BTL fans out there that give us all that support. That is the end of the stream. That is the end of season 15, and we will see you guys next year whenever Ito decides to launch season 16. But until then, everyone have a good night, have a safe holiday, and thank you to everyone that gives us all the support, and thank you to these fine gentlemen, Tygoo and Vaprito, for joining me for today's final stream.